February 28th.
Let's see here.
No. Nothing. No. Build a Maester Crafter's sound is yorked right now. We're just trying to get it fixed.
Yep.
Can you all hear me out there? Please tell me you can hear me out there. Well, that's good. Hey, what's up, M Bookers? Good to see you from the Portrait Workshop. So Bill has a perplexed look on his face here, unfortunately. Good Sunday. You sure it's not Zoom, Bill? Do a sound test. Do a sound and audio test with Zoom, which you can do on that button. It'll let you do that.
Yeah.
So you want to go and see where it says mute. You click on that little arrow up there. It says test speakers and microphone.
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, go again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're a little delayed, but we can hear you.
Yeah, and we can hear you speak. We can hear ourselves in the speakers too.
Yeah.
Maybe that is weird.
How about now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can hear you. Good.
It's good. Your voice just sounds a hair off, but we'll live with it.
How about now?
Yes. You're a little low.
Yeah, the flux capacitor. Yep, we need to check that too.
Yeah. The flux capacitor. Hey, Megan.
How about now?
Better. Better.
Yep.
Better.
Too low or too high?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
That art is amazing for the Castles and Crusades Troll Road Games Kickstarter. Looking forward to getting that. Just remember, you always get 15% off just by using that code anytime you order. And Jay missed a cue here, but I'll hit this next. There you go. Yeah, 3's right. 3 is right. Yeah, because we got our ads running. So when I got my ads and preludes running, we got, we're there. As soon as we're through all my sponsors and entry stuff. It's only 7:19, man. We guys are cranked up 11 minutes early here tonight. But we always start a minute or two early to the start of the show here.
Yep.
That's why I figured I'd better come on.
Yep.
So how's the weather out there in California, Anna?
It's wonderful, or kind of not too
that's
hot,
cool.
70 degrees. So yeah, 70 degrees and sunny. It was a little bit windy today though, but it was.
All
nice
it is here is
to
wet.
see 70 degrees. Yeah.
So buy more.
Yeah, it's low 40s, windy and rainy. Wonderful.
Yeah, we will have probably sunny and around 70, 75 degrees the whole week. Yep.
Wally, how'd
We
that
had it
first
last
game
week
go?
too.
We're going to be in the upper 40s, low 50s at some point this week.
I think I live in the right spot. Yeah, I think I live in the right spot. It's wonderful.
Wally had to lurk a lot during that game. It's Sunday. I was doing a lot of things. So, but I'm glad to see you had that first grade all game go off.
So, hello, Scott. Welly.
Awesome. Yeah. It's cool. So you got to give kudos to Gamescape 3D, by the way, because if you've seen all over me placing it all over the internet on the unbelievable tilt wall and joust setup that Bill did, that is That is all because of our sponsor, Gamescape 3D. Jeremy, he's a one-man show. And we went to him and said, can you do this? Can you make this? And he's like, yep. And what, Bill, it took, what, 2 days for the initial stuff?
Yeah, a couple days. Yeah, we had the first prototype within a couple days, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, that one was. How about this one? Is this one better? I got this one way down. I'm sorry. Each one has different settings within it. Yeah, okay, good. So, yeah, and this is Infinite Dimensions, so this is our other 3D sponsor. Man, this stuff's coming out any day now, too, in the Kickstarter.
March.
Phantom got the gold package for his donation. He was the top donator, so he got first pick, and this is what he took. Everything you see here on this ad, he got an STL, or is getting an STL when it's ready, courtesy of Infinite Dimensions. So we're fighting. Our group's fighting over what we're going to print first. I want the arena, but Bill and Alan love the bridge that's being shown right now.
Well, I'll tell you, I have an advantage in that argument.
Yeah, you have the printer at your house.
No, it's probably going to be the arena. It's something we don't have anything like that, so.
Yeah, so it's your point. Yeah, unfortunately no, but here comes the arena. Yeah, so what's up, Mike? So believe it or not, Mike Saxton won that massive ruined keep, and he said he could pump that out in 2 to 3 days.
Well, how many printers does he have?
4.
Well, that's it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, if he wants to pump some out and send them to me, I'll take them.
I already discussed that a little bit with him, that maybe we want that one printed, because that will tie up our printer for 2 months. Just because you're at work and all, you gotta you're not there 24/7 watching over it.
Ooh.
Do I have a 3D printer? Yes. Technically, we have a 3D printer that we got for Bill. Yep. We got an Ender 5, so we may get a second one, but not currently.
At some point.
Oh, that would be awesome, Mike. That would be awesome.
You'll have a whole basement with 3D printers running.
Oh my gosh. My wife would kill me.
Like I'm not running it now because it'd be so noisy in the background.
Yeah, Bill, does Bill have his own? No, it's never leaving his house, Patrick. So it's an Ender 5.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to get it out of my hands at this point.
Yeah. And
Plus in anybody else's hands, they can print it all they want, but nothing's going to get finished. So.
All my players donated. We all chipped in. We got it like a month before Christmas, if I recall, something like that, and it's been going crazy. Yeah, boogers. The resin is so much better, but for terrain, PLA is a way to go. I mean, and I can't. We're not going to print.
At some point, I might look into a resin printer.
Yeah, we're not going to print. Use the resin printer for now because we have that deal with Reaper, and for the joust. I'll show it as we come up. 17 mounted minis. Bill has gotten 15 or 16 of them done. They're all Reapers. So Reaper's been very good to us. So there's one. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we'll show that.
That's not a Reaper though.
Oh, it really? Is that Dark Souls?
That's a Game of Thrones.
Oh wow. Okay.
Actually, a Lannister Knight.
What's up, Kayla?
House Lannister Knight, but you said we needed a Black Knight, so I had to find something that.
That's
worked.
Awesome. Yeah, for Gary Julian. Kayla, I got a big announcement.
It's kind of a Hobbit house I'm working on.
Oh wow.
All right. Here we come.
Yep. Welcome. Hi. See you again. See you again.
What's up, Tom? So tonight, by request, creating custom player classes. I don't think you have to limit this to old school. I think you can do this with a lot of things.
Absolutely.
What's Leslie, Kim, good to see you. There you go, Tom. Your favorite two characters and his favorite two are in the upper left-hand corner there in that picture. So
There you go, Jay.
oh my God, that is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. We're gonna show that off. We'll show off. So we're gonna spend like the first 3 minutes when we're live showing off Bill's stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Otis tree.
That is you can't even tell that that's the other piece.
No.
Glorious. What's up, Naz? 31 months. Here we come. And look, we're 3 minutes early tonight. So anyone yells, "Oh, they came on early," sorry, but we're coming on a little early tonight. Good evening, everyone. Whew, I had a nice weekend. I'm J.K. Lord Gazumba, and we got the great and my partner in crime Anna and Meyer on,
Hello.
and a little special treat for a lot. I bet you a lot of you have never seen him on a talk show. It's been a little bit. So we
Yeah.
got Bill, the Master Crafter Haley, the man behind like making all the scenery and painting, and
Behind the stuff.
because I
Yeah.
have no artistic talent whatsoever. We all know that, correct? So note this.
Different forms of artistic talent.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Speaking of artistic talent, you see what's up in front of you tonight?
Yeah.
I have a bunch from Mike Disney, who is sponsoring our channel now and doing some work for us. So look at these
What
prints.
size are they, Jay? Are they square? Are they?
It's rectangular. So I guess this is
rectangular.
5x7.
Is it
So
8.5 by 11?
I don't think it's that big.
It looks big in
Yeah,
your
I
hand.
guess so. I guess so. It's
Yeah.
Sheet
so-
of paper size. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have, and we're giving away at least two of these things. They're signed by Mike Disney. These are gold. So
Yeah.
let me set that up tonight. And please remember,
Now you're only going to give away one because I'm taking one.
I have more than two here. Come on. So
I've got another original of Mike's sign, so it's
you do
I got to add to the collection.
absolutely. So and then depending on how we get, and if we get some awesome cheers and resubs, I may throw some other things in too, just because I'm a nice guy, right? We'll see. But we got that started up, and that should be going right there. But please remember for this, give Mike the courtesy, and then Megan's on Mike's right hand gal. I saw you on, Megan. Good to see you. And let me give Mike a shout out here. We want to have it on so that he. Yeah, hey Vamp, good to see you too. So let's start off with I bombarded the internet with this because it's so awesome, and I set this up, and I was like, this is great, right? So I'm gonna throw this up here. You've probably seen it, but we're prepping for GaryCon, and here is I'll cover my face. There is the now people are pointing out to me. Thank you very much there, Dwayne. People are pointing out to me that they're on the wrong sides. Okay, I messed up. They are. The jousters are on the wrong side. Yes, but note that this is all, and you can see the greatness of Bill with taking the initial concept, getting the Gamescape 3D, and I love these angles down here. You can see the length of this thing. On our table, but note that it's going to be a lot of fun when we have the Grand Joust of Altamira, and that is one of his craft specialties, and he's working on some stuff there that we'll show you as well.
Always working on stuff.
Yeah, he's always working on stuff. So, and there's another angle pick. And what's going to happen though is you see, I had nothing on the table because I'm setting up for Thursday. It does, doesn't it, Patrick? Behind that, I'm going to have the skyline of Altamira from that angle. So you're going to have buildings in the background. Right, Anna, you gotta have Altamira up.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Bill's
There might
wandering
even
around.
be some city walls by then.
Yeah. Corey, thanks. 10 months, man. Where did all the time go? You know, where is our time going to these days? It's freaking going by so fast. So, oh, look at that from Steve. So we got a hype train already.
Wow.
That's awesome. All right. Bill is working on some great things. And why don't we show a couple of them before we get started here, since we did start a few minutes early. So Gary Julian is now playing in the Grand Joust of Altamira, the Pluffett Mentor himself. He said, I won't give it away, but he can show you the miniature that he's working on. Because we needed at least 16 miniatures. So Bill, pop that up. You got your microphone today? That's awesome. Show us the. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. That's a Fire and Ice.
Yeah, that's a Game of Fire and Ice.
That's a Game of Thrones Fire and Ice one there. So that's awesome looking. Really cool. So that's going on. Now, oh my gosh, Patrick, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, thanks. So generous as always. Note that you're going to see a lot of new stuff on our table tonight. I mean, Thursday night as well. And I'll talk about what we're going to do at the end of the show. But if you saw the ancient shrine that we had on the last couple weeks from Infinite Dimensions. Bill took the top part of the print. It doesn't even look like the same print. Where do you see this? Now, you remember we have Fiona, the Dryad, who's in front of Warmonger's tower, and she sends them on these weird missions a lot and makes them all sorts of magic items. You can barely see it in the background behind him. This thing is like, this may be your best piece you've ever done. I mean, it is so, look at that. That's enough to get you kidnapped by John at Brewbox. And put you in pull a Breaking Bad on you and put you on a string or something. Oh my gosh, man, look at that thing. That is unbelievable. So I can't wait to get that out on the table. I had never known.
I mean, it's pretty tall too. It's probably, I don't know, close to 14 inches.
Yeah, I would have never known that it was the same piece. Oh my
well, it looks different with the
Yeah. Look at that. You like that, Mike? So, oh my gosh, Patrick. Cranking it out tonight. So, just some wonderful, wonderful crafts by Bill.
Got a little more to do on it. Not much. I just got to add some static grass just to make it a little more dynamic.
Well, so and Boogers, if you want me to call you by your first name, just throw it out there, and I'll call you by your first name because I've been trying to know everyone's first name that's a regular. So if you want to do that, that's cool too. Tino. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Tino. So we've had a lot of great things going on. So much so that our Game Street 3D sponsor says, "What do you guys want me to make for you next?" And we're like, "Really?" So we brainstormed a bunch of ideas with him, and we'll have some of that coming from Jeremy from Gamescape. And like I said, his Patreon is cheap. It's like $3.50 a month, and you get everything he makes each month. It's insane. So
I mean, for $3.50, you can't beat it.
Yeah,
for what he's putting out. He's putting out some big buildings. I mean, the ruined cathedral 2 months ago probably would be for other people $15 to $19 STL to buy it online. And for you do his Patreon for a couple months, you get some good stuff.
Yeah. Laser, there he is. Laser Dawnface Melter shows up with a 15-month in there. There you go, man.
Wow. Yep.
Don't worry about it. Everyone's friends here. So it's but just note that we're stepping the game up. I know I've put a lot of pressure on Bill, and I really want to say thanks, man, because but like I was shocked how many likes we got on Reaper today. It's like well over 100 on that. Normally the Reaper people tend to be reserved, so but it's really fantastic everything that's going on, and that leads to why Bill's here. So Bill has made up some character classes too. And so when we hop into a little bit into our discussion and get things started, I don't think this is I don't think this is an edition dependent discussion really. Now, I'm talking old school.
Oh yeah, no, it's not no because you still have classes in basically every edition. I know that you can play Greyhawk with that and yeah and a lot of other rule system they have classes. So
Yeah.
I think yeah, but the role of the class and what mechanics niche it fills differs a little bit depending on the editions, I think, but it's still very interesting discussion and a key one. So
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our specialty classes would be, I say they look more like 3.5 classes than they do first edition classes.
Mhm.
They have a lot more abilities that go up in levels, so they could be
Yeah.
prestige classes, I guess.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's really not edition dependent. It's just,
Yeah.
hey, you know, how do you want to have fun and design something different?
With
Yep.
Oh, look, I told him that he couldn't come on next week, but he had to jump in. He's like, I can't not be part of this.
Okay, awesome.
So, the ever mysterious Tim, everyone. So, Bill, I said there's one main exception, I think, to that rule. We take a prestige class and we back convert it to 1E, so you're always that class, right? That seems to be the one difference between the prestige classes and the. What do you?
Yes.
Yes.
What is that? Did you make yourself look like you have armor on or something?
Yeah.
No, it's probably a remainder left over from a background screen I was messing with.
Oh,
okay.
you
Yep.
look. It looks kind of
Yeah,
weird.
you see it.
You look like you have a
wearing-
door on your chest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's wearing a door. Yep.
Yeah. So
But
there you go.
So Jay, you haven't incorporated the mechanics of a prestige class, so to speak. So there's still classes in old school D&D form, so to speak.
Yeah. So everything we have is back converted to our 1E 2E rule set.
Okay.
And thank you so much, Tom. Great to see you on. We missed you on Thursday. It was a great ending. But Tim filled in admirably and barely complained. I'm just kidding, Tim.
I meant to come on the BS. wasn't paying attention what time it was, so I wasn't coming on tonight anyway.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, they're going to talk about it. So I was just going to BS to say hello. I didn't even pay attention to the time. I was like, uh-oh. As soon as you picked it up, I was like,
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Caesar. Now I'm a mess. I had a doc here that I can't find. All right. Well. All right. So when we go on classes, Casey helped make and compile something that is missing now. Joyous. I'm gonna have to show you the uncaseyed one right here. I count now. Now this is not counting subclasses of subs, right? We have 43 classes and a cross-reference chart with all the classes and the races allowed. Okay, now I'm not banging or busting on anyone, but note here there are no Genasi on here. I don't even know what a Genasi is. There are no Tieflings on here. There are no Minotaurs. There are no Goliaths on here. It's old school.
No, we play strictly first, second edition playable class.
Yes, but you do have half ogres, half orcs. I know they removed half orc in second edition.
But now you're talking races, right?
Right. Just saying, that's what the X's are in the cross-reference table.
Oh, so which race can be which class?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the list here. Now I had it turned the other way, and with all the references to the homebrew ones, and I don't know where it went. So Tim coming on spooked me there, so I can blame Tim.
Tim's body's back to normal.
There you go. Yeah, he shut it off and turned it back on.
I was just.
So no gully dwarves, no kenders, none of that stuff. And by the way, thank you all for your generosity. That was wonderful. None of that. No.
Kenders were tried to be snuck in at a certain point.
Yeah,
there have been in the campaign though. There was some Dragonlance play at one time.
We played DL1 through DL4 back in the day, and I think Tim participated in it. I
remember.
Tim did, Marco did, and Walt did. Oh, I found it. And pre-Allen here. See, it's this way. It has cross-reference where the reference of the event, where it is, if it's multi-class, and also to other notes. Because Casey is so crazy with his analness more than me on as far as getting notations. I said, hey, have at it. If you're going to help me out, have at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when we got to DL4, I said I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna stop playing D&D if I keep this up. And this is crazy. I can't stand this. I'm sorry if anyone loves Dragon. I got the DL4 with this stand analyst, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, this is just brutal. Any class with limited top end members, like there's only one Master Flowers monk. There should be Statler, and there should be for assassins, and there should be for monks. Okay, but we're talking
and druids
and bards. Yes.
Well, I would say that maybe regional.
Regional is the way you get away with that, and the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Or alignment based, yes, there are. But since the highest level, when we're talking about player characters in our campaign, the average that a character normally gets is like 13th, and then they tend to be the characters sending other characters on missions. No one really permanently retires in our game because they're either families or they have keeps, Anna, or they have some kind of responsibility, or Vulik. Yeah, druids especially do too.
Yeah, I mean, just for instance, I've been playing since regularly, probably since 96, on and off since 91, 92.
Yeah.
My highest level character is 12th, brought up from first in the campaign.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's 12th is high.
Tim's got Fensick and Leuven, and we all know the story that Leuven, the halfling thief, is always one level higher no matter what happens than Alan's halfling thief Sam. Just because I know it drives Alan.
I mean, he's crazy. A better thief, of course. And he does better stuff, of course.
Yeah, he's like 18th, right? 17th or 18th? Fensick 16th, your half-elven mage. That's about as high as it gets. Now, those characters adventured with Gazumba and Hawk back in the day.
Those were like, Leuven was like the very first character I ever made when I was 9 in 3rd grade.
Yes. So that's how old these characters are. They go way back into the 70s. So we had a lot of inquiries about Alan's bounty hunter mage, Pat Smith, from the fundraiser event last Saturday. And that was one of the first classes ever.
Love bounty hunters.
What's that?
Love bounty hunters.
Love bounty hunters. I love bounty hunters. And Moltar. Mine was first named. Mine was my name because I didn't know what we were doing back then. We all named the characters ourselves. So back in the day, what's up, Mark?
Player's name.
Yep, player name. That's it. So when we started, and we're talking about now AD&D, and I want to say that I know Tim and I know Walt at this time because we were having this argument. Tim, you remember that Walt had Ishtar, right? And she was like a fighter assassin dual class, and I said I don't allow assassins. And he changed. I said, but I will work on an alternate that This is before I even know there was an article about a bounty hunter in Dragon Mag, and I said I'll work on an alternate where you knock them unconscious instead of assassinate them, called a bounty hunter. How's that sound?
Which is that's a logical step in the right direction.
Yes.
For a player character.
Yes. Do I use the class and race books? Which ones are we discussing? See, I'm not a kit person, so but if there's something good in those books, we'll definitely use it. Like thugs are a kit for sub a thief. So the bounty hunter came about as we were really back then no evil characters, right? Stay away from evil characters, and assassins can only be evil and. No problem, Mike. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're taking money to kill someone, and that's the only reason why is because of a contract to do it. There's no way to dress that up to look good. It's evil.
Absolutely. And are there assassins in Pathfinder too?
Yes, I think it. No, not yet, but it's definitely something that can be invented, so to speak. And classes, in a way, since you have feats and stuff, that has a lot of the abilities that you will assign through a class in older editions of the game, you can actually do through feats. So that means that a class determines less of what you can do, so to speak. It's more just the general direction of your character, not the absolute abilities. That's meaning one fighter can be completely different from another because the feats kind of dictates what you do. So it's more like the basic building blocks. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pathfinder 3 got rid of the class and all of it was feats.
Oh my
So you
gosh.
simply say that I want to have a bit of spell casting. I want to be so good at that. So you have a number of holes, so to speak, and you can plug whatever you want in there. It's almost like it was made to be that way. But it's not there yet. But in third edition was the kind of the first step in that direction, where you have building blocks that you can kind of mix and match through the feats. And then
Yeah. Do they have a feat where you can outright kill someone with a?
No.
Okay.
That's the other interesting thing, and that's my question I want to ask you. How much do you let new interesting classes? Do you invent new game systems for it? Meaning, do you have something that use magic in a different way, or something like that?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to 3 things: keep myself growing and keeping the game growing, changing, adding spells, adding specialty priests, adding a special spellcaster type. That's why I added 2 elementalists onto the 4 base ones in the Tome of Magic. 2, switching it up so that they don't know, like throwing them wrenches at them, because I have to. When you've been playing for 41 years, hey, what's up, Derek? You have to come at them sometimes with something different, right? Something challenging.
Yep.
And throwing good old monsters and making different kind of monsters is a cool way of doing it, but there's nothing better than an NPC that's pretty nasty, or a class that's interesting. And thirdly, I like input from them, right? And so you're going to see tonight, even though they will tell you differently, this is not a dictatorship, even though they say it is. Okay.
Well, all worlds.
Well,
run
Jay
by
likes to
DM,
think he's in charge, but
all worlds run by a DM are somewhat dictatorial, but we hope it's a benevolent dictatorship.
Exactly. So you're going to, when you can get away with it, exactly. So note that Tim's got, and Tim's, I'm not prepared with his in the scroller.
Again, I wasn't planning on being on. I was just going to chat with you, and I was looking at the time. I was like, "Uh-oh."
Yes.
So,
well,
we'll
we'll
have to go shortly anyway.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to do Tim's next week. He's got 2, and 1 I don't even have in here. 1 he's play testing himself, but Bill's got 3 at least, and there's a 4th one he's not very proud of. Begins with an R that we may get to, right?
not necessary to get it.
But it's okay. I mean, it's good for a mix-up sometimes. So, all right, Bounty Hunter. Now there's a scroller running, but it's easier for me because I can't go back. It's just, I really wish I had access to the old one. But here's the Bounty Hunter. Now, what do? First of all, you have to think ahead, and this is like, how do you do this? You need to think of, is this going to imbalance things? Number 1, okay, that's right off the bat. You got to think that. 2, are my players going to like this? Thank you for the follow. Thank you so very much. Are my players going to like this class that I'm making? All right. 3, how is this going to differentiate from something that exists already? So you got to think about all those 3 things. Now, back then, you have Player's Handbook, base classes. I think, Tim, which was first, the Bounty Hunter or Lens Archer? I think the Archer was first, correct?
I think the Archer was
because because Walt was playing Pete Moss right off the bat, right there. You got that weird background again, so keep it there.
I got that weird background.
Yeah,
again.
It's pretty cool looking.
Yep.
You can leave it up, man. It's
cool.
kind of neat.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Archer out of the base classes, out of the Player's Handbook First Edition, the Archer was the first one that I incorporated in. Alcimene,
it's my studded leather. It's my studded leather armor.
Get that back to you, Alcimene, at the show's end tonight. Thank you. And but the Bounty Hunter is the first one that we go for, and so you got to set some parameters, and you got to think about your own campaign. So what I did was I decided very early on that I wanted NPCs in this of humanoids. And which is very, very early on, thinking ahead, like assassins. Okay, anyone can be an evil assassin for the most part, but I want this bounty hunter to have a little flavor to it. So I started creating up with, and they got some level limits on those. What classes? What races? Hey, what's up, Casey? What races am I going to incorporate into this class? So if you look at the chart, not counting gnomes, because gnomes could be assassins, which is kind of weird and goofy and kind of cool, but you're looking at your elves, half elves, and
We're trying to get that rule changed for a specific NPC.
Yeah, well, and why is that, Bill?
Because he's reappearing.
Oh, there was a threat. He was reappearing, right? Only a threat.
Right.
Holly gave you a threat in that adventure. So, dwarves fits into my campaign. Prince Proud of Ulick's there. The prince kind of doesn't like the Order of Ulick. There's the whole Lortmill mountain chain, right range. It just makes sense to have bounty hunters in my campaign as dwarves. And then you got to have half orcs. It's a perfect class for half orc. So I took it one step further. The whole half ogre article's out. They have like 3 classes, right? Basically one. They could be a fighter with unlimited.
Right.
And they could be a thief or
No, a fighter and a cleric. That's it.
Oh, they can't be thieves.
Right.
Yeah, in the article, and the cleric's very limited. And I'm
Fifth
like,
level.
yeah, I'm like half ogre would be a great bounty hunter. So there you go. So that's why it says racing. Yep, lurking. Oh, cool, Casey. Well, thanks, man. And then
who's going to carry the guy once you knock him out?
Yeah,
the half ogre just carry him.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely true.
He's the guy with the hammer to knock you open the door to get in.
Dragons, I don't remember even because I don't. This is gonna sound crazy. I know the archers in 60. I know where all the other ones are, but I made this up myself before I even know someone made it. So I don't even know what dragon it's in because I don't want anyone to say, "Oh, you took it from dragon." This was my own creation. So half ogres are the brute squad, Corey, and unfortunately, Kren won't be playing this Thursday in the Bloody Brethren because I'm making all the players switch up to their less used characters in that group. So yeah, Karn, absolutely. He's a half orc though, not a half ogre. The alignments I noted here are wrong because that should be neutral good as well. I don't know why I didn't have that added in here, but that was a mistake on my part. Experience tables as assassin. Hit dice die 6 as assassin thief, except for the half ogre who gets a bunch of extra points early on. No spell ability, and then the armor selections are there. No shield, but there has some differences. You can't just think, oh, I'm going to make this character an assassin that can knock out, and that's it, right? You don't want to do that. So they get alignment tongues. They get disguising like an assassin. They get they're knocking out with a blunt instrument, and they render unconscious 2 to 8 turns, and they can track as a ranger, which I like that ability. And then if you
the tracking like a ranger kind of displaces the whole disguise thing that the assassin does. So you just traded those out.
Yep.
Right.
Well, they can actually disguise, but bounty hunters rarely use
that. They get disguised too because they're. Yeah. I always assumed that the bounty hunter tracking was more of a stalk, than a track.
Mm.
With a halfling, we call it a quarterling. Wonder what a dwarf and an elf would make. Dwarves and elves can't mate, I don't think, even though that they tried to do that in the Hobbit story. I don't know where that came from, right? But they tried.
They didn't really try to do that. They just had an affinity.
Yes. So I know Tim's a Lord of the Rings purist. So here's your assassination table from Dungeon Master's Guide. And it's just edited. It says, assassins kill outright upon success, but the bounty hunter renders someone unconscious 2 to 8 turns. Now, if you're by yourself and you knock someone out for 2 to 8 turns, you can kill them, obviously. Correct?
Yep.
But that's not the idea behind the bounty hunter. The idea behind the bounty hunter is this person's got a price on their head. And that's where we tie in Altamira. Once again, I can't scroll through here. I'll just pop it up. If you go on the left here, it should be it. We tie in that symbol on the far right, the Altamira Bounty Hunters Guild symbol, And
Yeah,
that, there you go.
I think going after people, the act of bounty hunting has been, that's what adventurers do, really, in a lot of ways. They go to bring somebody to justice, but once you have that guild, you have the professionals whose main goal and main function is to do that, which is really cool.
And what that does is it gives us a class that now needs to have a guild, right? So when we founded Altamira, I'm like, this is the place where the Bounty Hunters Guild is going to be the main Bounty Hunters Guild, and my Greyhawk's going to be out of. And I'd added something else to the realism of it. It probably wasn't the be all end all why Anna put it on the map, but it could be one of them. Got some flavor.
And our Bounty Hunters Guild too. You don't have to be a Bounty Hunter class to be in the guild.
Exactly. And we're going to give you the number one example. Once again, I am, and I can take Tim can take semi credit for this from Wizard of Id, but two of the most famous members of the Altamira Bounty Hunters Guild, who appeared last Saturday night, are right there. Our buddies Poo Poo and Kaka, the Goblin and the Bugbear. Now they are neutral. The Bugbear is the Bounty Hunter. He's a Bounty Hunter class. His buddy, the Goblin, is a fighter, and he has specialization with falchion and with shortbow. So, do you think Bounty Hunter puts more work on the DM's part to set them to make things?
So they were originally in prison, and they got freed, and so they joined the adventurers, and that's how they became NPCs.
Yeah. So a couple things out here. Dragons, Silverleaf, and thanks for participating, man. I really appreciate since we've been discussing via email and stuff. Couple things. Die 6, Die 8's a possibility if you think that they should be a little more sturdier. Bandits are like that, but bandits are subclasses of fighter. It's a possible.
And they still are a subclass of thief, regardless.
Yeah,
just as the assassin is.
It's a thief subclass, so I tend to like the Die 6. But you don't, in order to join the Bounty Hunters Guild, you do not need to be a Bounty Hunter class. You need to, and this is kind of what happened in second edition, right, Anna? They got rid of assassins, and they made all the Deathstalker no longer was an assassin; he was a fighter or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Because to me, that's
I'm going
something
head
that.
Out.
See you, Tim. Thanks for hopping in, man.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry, I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you. You're playing Thursday too, so I'll see you then.
Yeah. Bye now.
But it's interesting to see that in old school D&D, class is very much what function you have in the game. That's the kind of the basics idea for it. But then in third edition and later edition, it more kind of just only defines what skills set you have.
Right.
And then you can function any way you want. Meaning a fighter could very much be an assassin, so to speak, because he's learning to kill things, and or you can have a rogue doing it, but rogues do it more stealthy, so that's probably even more likely that he will be someone. So it's more like what skills you have, and then you can kind of have any function you want. If you want to be a member of the Thieves Guild, they kind of think you should be able to do certain functions, and for that you need a set of skills, and you might be able to have fighters might be the best ones for that, but barbarians might be able to do it, or rogues too. And then fourth edition is interesting because fourth edition tied back to the mechanics of the game a lot more, where classes had functions. You had the controller, you had the one that was supposed to be the dashing out of damage, that were like the tank was invented.
Turned it into WoW.
Exactly, turn it into computer game, and all of a sudden you had roles again, and that is very much back to the really early days of D&D. Yep. And then comes fifth edition, and they toned down that a bit again, and it becomes more like, and classes became more overlapping, more generic, less specialized, and then you have Pathfinder that went like 3.5, but they went overboard with classes. Pathfinder 1 had like 60 different ones, and it was just like, oh, I want to have this skill set, that feat, and these things. You could pick a class for any combination, so to speak. And then in PF2 they realized we don't need 60 classes for that. We just put all the stuff into feats, and then you can pick and choose. So the class all of a sudden became much less of a barrier between. It was like it was simply telling that you can learn these many skills and stuff at first level, and then you can pick and choose. And so it's kind of, it varies what the purpose of the term class means, so to speak, in the game.
But
A
I'll
little
tell you this in
Yeah.
Pathfinder, because I played Kingmaker and I love Kingmaker,
Mhm.
man. Some of
Yeah.
those, there's very little difference between some of those classes, but some
Oh,
of them
yeah.
are really
Mhm.
cool and
Yep.
specialized. What's the
Yeah.
one where you are a thief and you can cast mage spells a little bit? Arcane
Well, yeah,
Trickster?
you had exact Arcane Trickster. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was actually a third edition 3.5
yeah.
thing that was carried over into Pathfinder.
Yeah, it sounds like a multi-class illusionist thief.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of,
and you
yeah.
had you had a lot of stuff that was, instead of multi-classing in PF1, you had one that was the Blood Rager. It was an awesome combination of barbarian and sorcerer. And I love that class because you can go straight into become an arcane archer and didn't
my
have the
gosh.
multi-class. You can be a blood rager, and you can be a barbarian, and you can learn to use a bow, and you can cast spells. And you can rage and cast spells. You can be kind of awesome, and then you can learn move straight in and get specialized with your bow, and you can it was an
Crazy.
awesome character. Yeah,
Yes,
it was crazy
Casey crazy.
yeah,
So.
Casey crazy. And she was certainly not min-maxed more than a few things, because she was kind of dumb and not overly that way. But she was awesome. If someone angry and something needed to be killed at a distance, and she still could just throw away the bow and then kill something that came close to. So
Nice.
it was kind of fun. But that was part of the problem with when you have a rule system
It can
that
be
is
so many
so
classes.
specific, because if you mix and match the right way, the system gets broken. Because
What's up, David?
when you have so many subsystems and things, then all of a sudden you can get so many pluses that you go crazy. And that was something that was my experience, and a lot of Pathfinder 1 players want to kill me for saying this, that it was min-maxing way out of control and way more than I like, so to speak. So I'm not a min-maxer at all. I want kind of well-rounded character that are okay with a lot of things, and then you play along. The min-maxing out of control is kind of, I don't like it at all. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Canadian, for giving that to David. So, Tino, I got a quick Ultima Online story.
Okay.
It involves I'm gonna throw my tier 3 emote up. It involves this person's head, right there, the no just no head. So he created a macro that when he would go away to work, that every so often he'd just sit there and chop wood all day to get stats. Macro, boom, boom, boom. And then, right,
Yep.
Bill? And then he became the head of
Oh, yeah.
the head of like the entire orcish assassins group on the entire server. So we had a guy who would play there 48 hours straight all the time, and that was So I never played Ultima Online, fortunately, because it seemed like it was awfully addicting. So yeah, and I understand about so when you talk about the classes that are prestige, and we believe we believe bards are the first prestige class.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do dual class humans a lot. A lot of my players, like
Yeah.
Alan especially, uses dual class humans. Everything that we do gets back converted to 1E, 2E. So
Yeah.
this bounty hunter class, and if you look at this, the bounty hunter can multi-class as a mage, which Alan's character Pat, that's what she is, as a cleric, or as a thief. No, what am I saying?
And Shadow Mage.
Shadow Mage, and I'm missing one. Fighter.
Fighter.
Yeah, it's like a fighter thief. So it's like 4 or 5. Necromancer 2, really. Oh, that's a nasty class.
No.
Just Shadow Mage. You're right. It's just Shadow Mage. Can't even remember my own rules. So to make this a little different than the Assassin, weapon specialization was around 1983. So I say they're using blunt weapons. I'm gonna throw a little wrench into it here. They can take one single specialization, +1 hit, +2 damage, and when they get to 8th level in that, they can attack 3 every 2. Now that's a minor thing. A lot of specialty priests get that, but for a thief class, it's the only one really that has a weapon specialization. Correct, Bill? Can you think of another one? Thief class with a weapon specialization. Oh, wait a minute. No, Swashbuckler too has a little bit of one too.
Swashbuckler gets single, and
But they don't get they don't get multiple attack ups. So
no, they don't get multiple attacks. Thug is the only one that's similar, but they get +1 to hit with one single hand weapon. It's not really specialization.
Yep. I love the moon phases of the red and white Mac. I love that in there. It is it's cool if you're playing a small campaign to keep track of that. But for me, it would be a nightmare, absolute nightmare to keep track of something like that. But it is a neat idea. But we do have classes that work similar to that. Plus, now we have a guild. We have a guild mistress. The mayor of Altamira, Charisse, she's 15th level. She's the guild mistress as well of the bounty hunter guild. So now I have a whole bunch of stories I can run out of here. I got a whole bunch of classes. There's an adventure group, the Huntsmen, that are based out of Altamira, that are bounty hunters. So it's kind of grown. So what's different than a thief? Now, Len Lakofka to this day will be affecting our campaign until the day that we all pass, which is wonderful. So if you find this article, the thief is special look. Okay. What dragon's this? 47, I think it is. All right, this is Bed and Best of the Dragon, Volume 3. Examining abilities old and new. There's an ability missing from thieves that we think should be added, and if you've played in my games, you see it on the sheet. Okay, and let me blow this up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. And that is set traps. Set traps is missing. Finding and removing a trap is different than setting a trap, in our opinion. So Leonard has done this great set traps tables. Aren't they gold mine, Statler? They're wonderful. And Len stuff's brilliant. Here's your chart. And say, whatever level you are, there you go. If you fail your set trap by 21% or more, it goes off on yourself. So that's kind of hard to do. Say you're 6th level you'll have about 60% chance of success. If you're all higher than 81, you're going to set it off on yourself. But this is for different, setting a snare trap, setting a sound trap, all sorts of things. Putting contact poison on a door. Also, raise your hand or say yes. How many people love Baldur's Gate 2? I rip off a lot of stuff from there. Greatest NPC, greatest RPG of all time, Baldur's Gate 2.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think 47 are Best of the Dragon Volume 3. So just so you know, we are getting close. So every 1,000 followers, I give one of these out. My favorite publication of all time, from a dragon. Where are we at? 38.75. So by Gary Con, I'll be giving this the 4th time. Best of the Dragon Volume 3 out as a courtesy. So
the Archer's in it.
The Archer's in there. So yes, we did. We managed to kill the Demi-Lich in that. Absolutely. You got to get Keldorn. You got to go get the +5 weapon from Keldorn off the Red Dragon. That's how you do it. Yep. Or the Flail of the Ages. One of those two to kill the Demi-Lich, if I recall correctly. So the Archer's great. I did a Gabbin on delving into damage dealers about 110 Gabbins ago. I think it was something crazy like that long ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't do that. It's got to be unique and individual. So there's a Stalker in there. The Stalker class is like a hybrid Ranger Thief. And there's a whole story behind him. It's really a cool one. And I said to myself, I need something else to flesh this thing out. So we're talking about in the 90s, I added this. Now, is this going too far? I don't think it is, because my guys half the time forget to use it. But I don't forget. And that is they can actually set some magical traps. Now, here's the conjecture. Is this them just casting a spell, or is this them having a little contraption to make a magical effect? I think it's that part. It's kind of like it emulates these magical effects. What do you think on that, Bill?
Yeah, I think they don't actually cast spells. They're using magical properties or components to put down a magical trap that simulates that effect.
Yep.
But they're not true spellcasters.
They're not true spellcasters. So at first level, and they can use this once per day and every 4 levels. You've got a lot of options with this class. First level, you can do a slow trap. It's a 5-foot radius. It lasts a day. So you place it in a doorway or whatever, defensive, and say 3 goblins come through at the same time. They all got to make the save because it's within 5 foot. If it's like 1, then 1, then 1, no. First one that goes sets it off. 5th level, hold person. Another cool spell. 9th level, you minus 1 to save, a la Luke's Resilient Sphere. That's the big bubble they get in. I kind of like that one. And then 14th, which is like super mega high. Save at -6 or you're mazed. So that is for like, what, 2 to 3 bounty hunters in the entire campaign can use that. That's kind of the super ability. Because, and that's kind of what I added in to the class to give it a little more oomph to it and make it look. Are you magic low, medium, high? I say high. What do you think between magic low, medium, or high? I'd say we're high.
Yeah, you.
I would say we've changed more in the last couple of years, where we have a lot of mages and clerics, but I think the amount of magic items is changing. We're seeing more masterwork stuff than we are seeing magical stuff in the last few years. Okay. So it's kind of changed from over time. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of spellcasters, but new magic items are lower.
High means we could buy magic items regularly, and I've kind of nixed that idea off the bat. So, but once again, it's just a matter of in perspective.
Yeah.
Asher put it very good, and he's like, I am a fan, but I'm not a fan. I don't play it my way, but you kind of run a heroic Greyhawk, and he's correct, right? And that's fine. We kind of have some really like a lot of characters have named weapons. I give out a lot of them because I like unique items, right? I like unique weapons with special abilities. I don't +1 sword. I'd rather have a +1 sword that you can cast like bless once per day, or fairy fire, or something like that. And
Yeah.
So
and my campaigns, my magic is rarer than standard, way rarer than standard, but especially items and stuff, but not less powerful. In many ways, it is more powerful in some ways, because I've always had higher level magic than 9th level. So I've had rituals and stuff that are way more powerful, but I've also tried to hamper high level magic a little bit. So it's powerful, but it's power that comes with responsibility, because you can detect it from a distance and stuff. So powerful ones, they notice you. When you start casting magic, the higher you cast it, the more it's kind of get noticed, so to speak. So you can't just, and that kind of limit teleport spells and stuff like that becomes less useful, because, for instance, so I try to nerf magic to make it, otherwise high level people would never go anywhere. You would just, why build castle when the enemy can just teleport half an army in there and take over the place? And so I need so I kind of nerfed magic to make the defenses against magic a bit stronger, and it can be detected and stuff. But I also want that if you have a whole bunch of really high level wizards and clerics and stuff, you can do some amazing things. You can make earthquakes, you can cool an all area, you can make darkness over square miles of area, bad weather, and lots of weird interesting things. Meaning a cabal of Hierophant Druids can cause a lot of trouble for someone.
You get some high level Druids, they can create havoc.
Exactly, meaning they can create all sorts of interesting things, from burning down forests to
just two.
Yeah, exactly. Meaning you can do. So I'm trying to incorporate a lot of stuff like that, but it takes time to do a lot of this. You can sense, meaning IUs can be in starting to do real interesting things that are terrifying to the whole neighborhood, countryside. But it will take days to come, so people can see the oncoming mayhem and complete slaughter and stuff, and you can start countering. And so I try to make magic both stronger, rarer and also more in control, so to speak. So it's a balancing act. But the regular everyone, you needs to have a plus whatever just to be a normal kind of functioning. No, I don't. I skip that bit. The magic shops and stuff. No, magic items are rare, take a long time to manufacture, and you need resources, friends, or skills yourself in order to make stuff.
Yeah, and we've kind of gotten away from that too. I mean, I allow
Yeah.
alchemists and things like that, but just trying to
Yeah.
make it a little more,
Mhm.
earned
Yeah.
in the world of actually gaming and adventuring. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for that follow. So, Bill, an audience, if you have, what are your opinions on gunpowder game? All right, I'll get to that because it's not gunpowder; it's called smoke powder. I will get to that one,
Yeah.
definitely. So, yeah. Uh, we have specifically one class, one
Uh-huh.
priest
I have
class that can use
Yeah, I
it.
have a no
Yeah.
gunpowder in
Yeah,
my campaign,
no gunpowder at all.
and no
But
dinosaurs. Yeah.
yeah, John. So,
Yep.
You got
Bill,
something with John and Blue Box there, yeah?
yeah.
Yep.
What
Yeah. Well,
what
yeah. John and me are agree. Yeah.
what are your thoughts, Bill, on finally on the bounty hunter? It's a hit, right? I mean, it's a good class.
I mean, I have one.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite characters to play.
Yeah. If you combine it
Shadow Mage Bounty Hunter. You
with
never
Shadow,
find her.
yeah.
Yep. You'll never find her if she's coming to get you. So,
And
but it's they are kind of a one-trick pony. The disadvantage they have is if they fail their knockout and you turn around, then they're in trouble.
yeah, and we're gonna do Shadow Mage. Sorry, I spelled it wrong. Shadow Mage and Necromancer next week. Promise. That is the one drawback to any thief. If you backstab, and especially in old school, backstab, thief, assassin, or bounty hunter, and you go after a mage who you do not kill or render unconscious, or a high-level fighter, and you just piss him or her off, you're in big trouble. Now, the only saving grace is that bounty hunters at least can attack 3 every 2, but that still doesn't anywhere near hold off a dual-wielding, multi-class,
That's why we don't see many straight thieves in our world anymore. Most thieves are fighter thieves.
Yes.
We do have a witch class in the campaign, but it's not a custom class. My morph, we have one that we do use, but it's not a custom, so we won't be going over it.
It's a hybrid of the Dungeon Magazine one, and it's Timothy Brannan. Everyone knows Timothy Brannan, right? He's on all over the place. His witch class. I will throw up next week the cover for it. He did a first edition one. He's done it on all editions. I've tried to get him on. I will make another attempt because I'd love to have him on the show.
Yeah, he does great work.
Yeah.
The first edition book is fantastic.
It's fantastic, and it was like $5 on Drive-Thru RPG. So you're looking for Timothy Brannan and his Witch if you want to look at a great book on witches. So, any other questions about Bounty Hunter? We're going to move on to one of Bill's. What about the Oriental book classes? We don't go there with those, really. Just doesn't fit our campaign. Really doesn't. Monks enough as an Oriental class, or we just don't. We don't go Kensai. We don't go Samurai. We don't go Ninja. Just it doesn't fit what we do in our style of.
Ours is very European based.
Yeah, and there's a lot of the Baccalaureate, we've got enough classes there. It just, elementalists are great for them, and it just doesn't, it's not for us. I do stuff that makes sense for my campaign. So, no ninjas, no, none. No ninjas at all in my campaign. Yeah, well, you use the martial arts, Tim. Yeah, you use the martial arts as a DM, but it's just not, it's not us. It's not, nope. No, none of those. All right, Bill. So let's talk about. We'll save the Maester for last. So Bill, this is.
Well, why don't we do this? We had a specific question earlier from Mike Disney.
Please.
Talking about dwarven specialty classes. So how can we do the shield thing first?
Yes, if I have it in here.
You sent me all the notes on it.
I know, and then I figured, we got enough classes to talk about this week, and I have it in for next week.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Hold on 1 second. I may be able to find where they are. Give me 1 second.
Could I bounce the email back to you?
No, please. I don't want to crash the stream. You know what I mean? Let me just hit this and see if I have it split up already. I thought I did. I don't. I don't have it snipped. I have a PDF of it. I don't have it snipped. So, Mike, I'm sorry. We have that's on my that's to do with the Inquisitor, Undead Hunter, and Shield thing next week. So I apologize.
All right,
we will
throw that in a different file.
Yeah, we will do that one next week. I don't want to crash anything because I can't put PDFs up. I haven't snipped anything. The last thing I want to do is the whole stream. So like I did
no problem
on Wednesday.
Just there was questions on it. I thought I would get it while
that's
it was,
a next
it was
weeker, two-parter here. So yeah, we'll do that with the Inquisitor and Undead Hunter. I promise. So all right. Let's do the let's do the Harrier Archer. So give us your thoughts, Bill, on what you were trying to come up with this class off of Len Lakofka's Archer. This is a brand new class. This class is what, 5 years old at the most? That's new for us.
If even that.
Yeah, I think 3.
I mean, I think my Harrier Archer is 5th level, and the only other one is probably around the same level in the campaign.
Yeah, but
not much higher than that.
I think that group's 5 years old though. 3 to 5.
It could be. Yeah. It was done at the old house. But I mean, the whole idea behind the Harrier Archer is, I mean, essentially, I was thinking more of a sniper. You know, your standard medieval longbowman was rows of archers firing in volleys.
Yeah.
Well, then if you watch any of the old Errol Flynn Robin Hood movies, they weren't firing mass. They were looking for specific targets, and that's kind of what I had the idea here. You know, to harry someone, to be sneaky, to be able to get in there, take 1 or 2 shots, to disrupt them, disable them. That's the idea behind this class. It's a quick movement, harassing type of archer.
Yeah. Harriers.
So they are the archer class. A little lag behind on their normal bonuses to hit and damage, but they have some extra abilities to make up for that.
Tim asked a good question, and the Naz. How's this to the 5e? I like this because I'm going to show you some special abilities here. So remember,
to be honest, I don't know. I know nothing about 5e Rangers.
Well, you remember Tim played him the one game you played in there, but you probably don't remember much of.
I remember him calling headshots all the time.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't remember.
And
much.
the funny thing is one of the 2 Harrier Archers in our campaign, her nickname is Headshot. So
yeah, it's true.
Yes, it is.
And as a matter of fact, the Harrier Archer will be played. Mine will be played this week on Thursday.
Yep, he will have a Harrier Archer, and that's one of the reasons why I want to discuss this one this week, because Dywin Simcoe is going to be played from the Bloody Brethren. Here are the initial stats. They can only wear up to chainmail. They can't ambush in that though. They can only ambush in leather studded or lighter or no armor at all. They have some proficiencies are 1 better than a regular archer. Now let me go to page 2 on this.
Step away for a second.
No problem. Here are their abilities. Now they use the Len Lakofka Archer pluses to hit and damage table, and you know that matrix. So you're talking about a lot of pluses to hit and damage, but it's at level -1. So if they're 5th, they're on the Len Lakofka 4th level table for pluses to hit and damage, and you know how that scales up. So here's their abilities. At 1st level, they can move silently and hide in shadows as a thief. All right, and you know, they can ambush fire 1/2 of their normal movement rate if a hide check is made. So that means that they can move and fire, correct? Hidden.
No. In the ambush case, if they can fire half their normal rate. If they make their hide in shadows, they stay hidden.
They stay hidden.
So
right.
They stay hidden. Yes.
Do me a favor, Bill. Gary Julian just hopped on to say, "Hey guys, Gary. We're gonna show you your character for the joust again. It's being painted as we speak.
Yeah, it's
there he is.
Close to completion.
Look at
that. Needed a Black Knight, so.
Yep. It is getting done.
It's a little out of focus. It's not the
Yeah.
brightest light down here.
There you go. So
Unless
it's
it's on
getting
the
worked
table.
on. So, yeah,
Yep.
Bill's the master. That's why we call him that. All right, second level. Any magical bonus to their bow is passed on to the arrow. That is huge for a lot of, in 1E, 2E, you're shooting arrows at wraiths. And your bow's magical, but your arrow isn't, and you're not doing any damage to them. That's a huge.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah. So you don't pass on the magical ability of the bow. Can't pass it on to the
Not in
arrow.
1E, 2E.
Not for a standard, and not
okay.
for anybody with the bow except for these guys.
Okay.
That's a fire and ice sculpt, Tim, from
Yeah.
from the Game of Thrones. That's the only one that's not going to be Reaper. So Bill did a
We have
special.
two.
Oh, two of them that aren't going to be Reaper. Okay, cool. Out of 17, why 17 instead of 16? So they can combine pluses too. So if it's a +1 arrow and +1 bow, they can hit creatures that are +2 or better to hit. So explain, please explain levels 3 and up, Bill, since this is your character class.
Yeah, well, the keen shot is what everybody knows a keen weapon is. So, they can fire one of their arrows that round. Is considered keen. That's just simply what it is. The next ability they have is a disabling shot, which is any shot characters say versus death magic, and it essentially disables them. So they're -2 on their strength and dexterity for 1 turn.
Right. So
they're wounded to slow them down, and that's one of the key things about the Harrier is, hey, it takes 2 people to carry a wounded man.
And this,
so that's the idea behind it.
And this is something Len would hate. Okay, but I don't care. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Repair Engine would fix it.
Why the effect wears off too. It's after a certain amount of time.
That's right. First shot only called. They can make arrows. Yep. They have a cover modifier.
They have a cover modifier. Yep. So yeah, and they're either cover modifiers or decreased by 1. You want me to do 4th and 5th as well?
Sure, absolutely.
They can craft arrows. That's standard ranger ability. In this case, at 4th, you're -2 behind cover. Not with a Harrier Archer, because that's their job is to pinpoint shoot. So you lose that 2 modifier. 5th level, any good sniper wants to have support and cover behind them, so they can set signaling traps to alert them if someone's coming up on their hidden position.
They can't do disabling traps or pitfalls or things like that. It's a signaling trap only, right?
Yep. Just to make noise, to let them know somebody's coming up on their 6. Let's see, at 6th level, they can now craft masterwork arrows. So masterwork arrows are arrows that give you a bonus to hit. And we've been in discussion and/or bonus to damage.
Right.
One or the other.
We're working on working out those logistics here. Then here's more 7th level, just like regular archers.
Yeah, 7th level, just like a standard archer. They get 3 hours around. They get a 2nd disabling shot per day, which is a big bonus for them.
In our campaign, the only class, no matter whether you're specialized or not, that can cast 3 arrows per round ever without hasting or whatever is the archers. That's it. No cavaliers, no specialized fighters, just archers. Archers are special. That's the way we have it.
Yep.
So, yep. 8th level, more arrows.
8th level, yeah, they can make more arrows per day because they've got more skill at it, essentially.
Yep.
9th is their deadly shot, and it's a max damage arrows 1 time a day that they get an additional +2 to hit because it's a targeted shot essentially.
And that's not that nasty when you think about it. It's on a die 6.
No.
Yeah.
No, but it's one of those things that can stack with other effects, so you have to watch.
If you crit with it.
But we haven't had anybody get up to that point to play test it, so.
No, we haven't. The highest level is 5th. That's
player character 5th, yeah.
The highest. And
then at that 9th, like regular archers, they get they're a level behind archers. The archers are 8th.
Archers are 9th. Archers are 9th.
Are they 9th as well?
Archers are 9th. Rangers are 8th. They're 9th level for 3v2. Yep. Yep. Regular archers, Leonards. Are,
10th, they can just make more masterwork arrows. And 11th, all their range modifiers are lower by 1, and the disabling shot is 3 times a day.
and that's that's the last ability that's been written up, and that is a nasty ability with the range reduction. So should they have a call shot ability where you can target the eye but must roll natural 20 or nothing else hits? Well, there are that's a tough one. There are spells like Solar Philanderer has a pre-spell that does that. So
15 shot.
So this is a playtest class, and normally playtesting for us takes 5 to 10 years. Seriously, we're constantly playtesting because we go through.
Yeah,
so
considering
many
we start characters maybe once every year and a half.
Yeah, every 2 years. Yeah. So
so it's you don't get to run that many of them to test them.
Yeah. So, but it's a cool variation on the archer, which are standard deliver when you think about it. An archer is the nastiest character as far as range damage in the game. Excuse me.
Pleasure.
Archers are banes to mages. They slaughter mages. Mages have low armor class. They take them out quick. And you know the bane to the archer in my game. I hate to say this, and if Skagith was on, he'd croak. Is the monk, because monks can dodge arrows. So we should make. So Tim immediately started disagreeing with you about the extra plus to the arrow to the weapon, in chat. But why? Talk about your explanation for doing that.
Well, it's a long-standing argument that I had with.
Yep.
To get over I think if you have a magic weapon, that plus transfers to. That arrow hits, it does the damage to the plus to the bow. So my theory is that magical energy from the bow is transferring into that arrow, and that's why I do it that way.
So I'm letting this run. They can't multi or dual, correct? They can't do any of that. So
nope, it's a career class. That's it. That's all you can be.
We have career classes, and Anna, a career class is an anti-Casey, anti-Allen, anti-Tim class. Which you can't do. You can't go out. Sorry, Tim. It was funny. You can't go. I want to be a 7th level fighter and then switch over to an elementalist. We don't allow that. Elementalist is elementalist. Wild mages. This Harrier Archer are career classes. You can't ever duel or ever multi into or out of them. All right, and that tends to be. Now, if I'm once in a blue moon, something will happen special, but that sounds reasonable for C. Exactly, and see, Tino, this is the deal. You gotta have game balance. If you go out of balance, you're gonna screw everything up. So, and trust me, in 41 years, we've had some. I'll tell you the number one thing I remember that really wonked things. When we used to do thief backstab back in the day, we quadrupled the pluses on their damage too, not just the dice damage. You're having thieves backstabbing for 80 points of damage. So say they did a short sword in each hand, and their strength bonus for them too was +9 or quadruple. That's +36, and then all the dice. It was just crazy. That got removed back in like 85. I think we nixed that. So you got to learn the balance on that. So what do you guys think of the first 2 classes so far, guys and gals? What do you think, Anna? Pretty cool?
Yeah. Yeah.
And note, Bill's created one, and I've created one here. So you thank you for saying that. Start with Len Kafka's Archer. Get Best of the Dragon Volume 3.
Yeah.
Or Dragon 60, which I believe is the best dragon ever written. And it's in here for the Archer. And let me tell you something.
Yeah, and Len has actually even changed his own Archer around.
Yeah, he did. There's a variant on it too that you get Druidic.
Is it in Earth Journal?
Did it make it to Earth Journal? No, it's on Greyhawk Online. It's on Greyhawk Online.
It is in okay.
Yeah,
so it's around.
Yeah, it's around.
But yeah, he changed the Archer a little bit from mage casters to clerical casters.
Yeah, he did it about 5-6 years ago. So, well, you can, and that's another. So I'm going to give you an example of a class you can make. you could make a fighter that's like a dagger thrower and add some other flair to it. No, Gary, Undead Hunter and Inquisitor is next week because Bill can come on this week, not next week. So that's a next week one for you. So this is a two-parter. But trust me, we got some good ones here. Yeah, we got so many to go over. Let's hit up this one.
Yeah, I mean, but that, because like my bard is specialized in Throne Dagger.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we do have my Cavalier who's triple specialized, so to speak, double specialized in Spear, also specialized in Spear Throne. So we do have people like that. We also have someone specialized in Dart in the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do.
And darts were nasty back in early editions. They did reasonable amount of damage, and you can throw lots of them. So yeah.
Mike, that was a great discussion last night. I'm so glad I hopped onto that. Thank you for having that for the Fantasy Grounds and Prometheus and all the others who joined that. That was awesome. How come I can't find
Tim? Only the Harrier class. And it doesn't do any extra damage. It just allows them to be hit by creatures that require +1 or better. So if you had a +1 bow and a normal arrow, you can hit something that requires +1 or better to hit.
Yep.
Absolutely. If you had a +1 bow, +1 arrow, you could hit something that needs +2 or better. It doesn't do any extra damage or any extra bonuses. It's just to pass through magic.
So I should ask Mike to code the archer into his classic for Fantasy Grounds. They go insane.
Yeah.
If I used it, I would ask, because you know me, I'm not bashful. If I actually used Fantasy Grounds, I would do that, and all the other classes too. So Druids are right, and then in second edition,
Druids?
Well, the original Druids,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like what I've done with specialty druids and another class, which is a subclass of druid, and that is, it just popped up, the Avenger. Now I'm going to be honest. I stole this from Baldur's Gate 2 as well, because they had this thing where the guy he could turn into a werewolf, and I didn't kind of get why it was a werewolf. So I said, let me think about this. The Avenger is a visceral druid who's kind of got something going on in his head, so that's why they're either neutral good, or neutral evil with the skew.
Mm-hmm.
They have some demanding startups, and the best way to do this is just to explain it. So here's your Avenger. I built this from scratch with that idea, coding archer for. Well, there, Dwayne. That would be awesome. That would be really awesome. This is another one. You can't duel, you can't multi. If you're an Avenger, that's it. You take an initial statistic penalty right off the bat of -2 to strength and -2 to con. It's a demanding class on your body, and you'll see in a second why. So you never have an Avenger with 18 strength and 18 con ever in my game, ever. And normally they have low stats in strength and con. Okay. The humans, surface elf, half elf, no dark elves in this. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so Sylvan Grey or high can become Avengers. Their table is skewed, so it's much more difficult. You know how in Druid you can become like 9th level real quick? Well, it's kind of skewed, so it takes a lot longer between that 6th level and 10th, 11th, 12th. A little bit longer than a regular Druid. So they get, now I have 4 specialty druids in my class with whole spell lists made up, but they also get some other things. And here's what the Avenger is so special. They get all druid abilities, but they can shapeshift into monsters. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So they can do a little bit beyond this normal magical, turn into a bear, turn into a coyote. They can turn into monster forms, starting at 5th. So they get 1 change at 5th, or 2 at 6th, and then 3 at 7th when you normally get your other abilities. So here's the list.
So that's 2 levels earlier than a normal druid is with shapeshifting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here they are. And note that a 2+2 hit die creature is way better on the attack table than a 5th level druid is. So yes, they can tap into Avenging Spirits. That's exactly it. Huge spider. with a poison save. Young Wyvern, so they can actually fly then. Sword Spider,
which is one of our favorites.
yes. Sword Spider, which is non-lethal attack damage from a spider. Owl Bear, pretty cool. Winter Wolf at 9th. Polar Bear, Northern Bear, which is right in the original Monster Manual,
Yeah.
at 10th. Adult Wyvern at 11th. Treant at 12th. And Green Dragon at 13th. Now, once again, our highest
Wow.
level, yes. But remember, 13th's like pretty high in my game. So we have a character who's 9th level Avenger now. And that is Dude, right? James Reeves. He's 9th.
Yeah.
So, Dragon, what age? That is a great question. It's 16
Yeah.
hit dice. So, I made it at age group 6, which is old.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's fairly
Yes.
up there. Yeah.
Yep. But remember, you get the hit points of yourself. The hit dice is for attack category only. You're at your own
Okay.
hit points.
Mhm.
Now, your armor class can be modified by Wings of Protection and Cloaks of Protection off this base list here. Also, there are spells, remember, in 3rd edition that I back converted to 2nd and 1st. There's Magic Fang and Greater Magic Fang, which these druids can take. They can cast on special attacks. Magic Fang you can cast on your companion and make like a bear bite, like +1 to hit. Greater Magic Fang, it's up to like +3, +4 hit and damage. You can use that too. So that is coolness number 1. And trust me, it's really I had all the figures. It's neat. It's a neat change up. Plus, you can change into normal abilities, normal creatures as well. All right, page 3. Am I going to do the right one here? Page 1, page 2. Did I do that? Oh, I missed the table. They can only wear leather or hide. 2 weapons initially. And if you notice, this table, when they get up to like 6th, 7th, it stretches out a lot longer than a normal druid. Way longer, like double. Like a normal druid at 9, you can get 9th level at 100,000 experience points. It's double that for this.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to do it back in early in 1st edition, and so on, that you altered that you can mess with the XP tables, and that way you can give classes uniquely super powerful features, and then just add a lot of XP, so it was much harder to get to them, so to speak. That was a way that they removed from 3rd edition onwards, because the XP tables are identical between classes and also identical between levels, basically. So you just they go up, so you need more. They're logarithmic more or less, but it's still, and some of them are even like it's 1,000 or 1,500 between each, so to speak. So you need to balance each class, and that was something that really came into be in 4th edition, where every class had basically the same mechanics. You had like what you can do in an encounter, what you can do daily, and what you can do all the time. And that was just different. It was like, certain attacks, melee attacks for a fighter, casting spell for wizard and stuff. So it was both good for evening out things and making it equal between the classes, but it was very boring because every class was mechanically identical to the other ones almost.
That is boring.
Yeah.
And that is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to come at it from a whole different angle here.
Yeah.
And like, when you're playing with the same group, when you play with the same group for 41 years, you got to really think of what different things. So note that the following other special things with this Avenger. They can only worship 1 of 4 deities in my campaign. And this is based on our Vestfi group. Because these all have specialty druid lists with all the spells already worked up. One is kind of ripped off from, well, not really. I use Malar in Forgotten Realms, but it's really the Maester of the Hunt from the deities and demigods, the one who's chasing the hunt and chasing people around. So here are the 4. All right, Serenos, which is the he's in an article that adds to the deities and demigods Celtic deity list and abilities, and so he's not in the deities and demigods, but he's kind of like Sylvanus, because no one can figure out if Sylvanus is Roman or whatever. It doesn't fit anywhere in Celtic mythology. So there's Serenos, Alana, okay, the Maester of the Hunt, and the Sylvanel, Roll of Fane, Ralifil. Now they all have their own individual spell lists for the Druids, so they got to be one of those four.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
So I was going to say I forgot to mention. I think the Druid is the I think a cool example of a specialty priest, and I would love to make all different religions and gods and stuff should have specialty priests that are as cool as Druids in their respective way. Because the Druid, I think it's like, yeah, you can call it old school flan or nature priest or whatever, but I think it's a perfect example of what you could do with specialty priest, and I would love to have other priests that are as special as the Druid in their own way, for war gods and for all sorts of gods. Yeah.
You know what? I should. I got a buffer, and I don't know how to do that. I think I have them all under Gabbins, so they're listed straight down. There's a whole, every Gabbin's in its own category, and every Legends of Lords in its own category, and every Tim game sets its own category. But I got to figure out how to do that to a reference list. So when you have, all right, I have Elementalists in my game. So I went further and I added Quasi, which is lightning and radiance spells, and Earth Elementalists to the supplement of their Avengers list. So especially Druids don't get them, only the Avengers do. And here are some of them. And you're not going to recognize any of these spells. Sand Skin, Sand Spray. Most of these are from the Great Net Spellbook. Now there's Lightning Bolt on there. And there's Ball Lightning. It's just a ball version of that. But there are a lot. Move Earth at 6. You know what that spell is. Chain Lightning at 6. But these are spells that they can use to an extra to their list of Druidic spells they can take. But they can never take more than 50% of their spells in these spells. The exception is if they only have one spell, because then that's over 50%, right? So if they only have one, say they have 1/4. They can take one of these, but if they have 2/4, they can't take 2. All right, that's the only time there's an exception. So, and these are cool. And when you see an Avenger played in our game, I'll try and highlight, hey, look, this Avenger's casting these spells that are neat. So that class brings out a good versus evil fight in the Vestvi with the evil Druids trying to purge everything that doesn't belong there, especially the Maester of the Hunts. You don't belong in the Vestvi. They want you out, and they're going to take you out by purging you physically or dominating you. Because the ones with a little evil tinge see any kind of society as bad, right? And that's the way the evil ones are played, and the good ones are fighting against Ayahs. They're helping the Beastmen. So we got a little bit of that. Nature is not just pure neutral in my campaign. So hopefully that makes sense. What's the Great Net Spellbook from back in the? Yes, Balfrin. If you can get a copy, I think it's 2000 or 99.98. Yes, a lot of those spells come from the Great Net Spellbook. Bingo, home run there. You're absolutely right. So it used to be. So Tino, 2nd edition, has Elementalists: Air, Earth, Fire, Water. We have 6. Air, Earth, Fire, Water. Quasi, which is lightning. Lightning, Radiance, Magnetism, Para. Throw any of the other crap, Salt, Ooze, Mud, Dust, Magma, Steam. That's a Para Elemental. So we have 6 Elementalists in our campaign. It's kind of cool. So, there you go. He found it. The Great Net Spellbook. Use it, but you gotta wean through every spell and make sure they're not.
Yeah, there's some really weird, overpowering things in there.
Yeah. Thank you very much, man, for doing that. So that is the Avenger. That's the 3rd one we've discussed tonight. It is a Druid subclass. It is a very specialized Druid. It is not a Druid to run around in the city of Greyhawk with. Okay?
Yeah.
It is not. It is for an outdoor campaign, wilderness. Now, that doesn't mean they can't go into city occasionally, but they're not meant for city campaigns unless there's a special reason for them being there. So, and I know I love Druids, and I wanted to further enhance them. I just don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like what they did. And Len said they agreed 100%. 2nd edition just trivialized the Druid as another specialty priest. We've kind of brought it and made unique individual Druids and the Avenger to really give them flavor. So there you go.
Yeah, I think
and we do have some specialty Druids too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because some of the gods, specifically, all their specialty priests are Druids.
Yes, there are. Yes, sir.
Is it Rilifine Relifel, right? The tree?
So, yeah, absolutely. And Alana's the only one that can be both. Alana can be Zerbo, Druids or clerics, depending on the ethos. I'm sorry, Anna. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's the boring thing is that clerics are too boring. They need to make the priest class way more. So whatever, there should be no generic cleric, so to speak. They should all be tweaked one way or the other, like the druid. So a war god should be having all sorts of cool things that belongs to it, and a god of magic or a god of death or a god of whatever it is, or pantheon or however you do it should. So every priest should be as cool as a druid one way or the other. So that's something that I think almost every edition have kind of missed out of. They made one cool priest for nature priests, but all the other ones get neglected in some ways. They either seen as just healing machines, or they are generic killing things machine through some sort of weird magic, rather than just using weapons or fireballs. And they need to have more flavor, so to speak. And the druid is a perfect example. I would love to, and that's something I want to develop more. That's one of my key areas I want to dig into, is making the priests of whatever religion it is or god more as cool as druids, and also tweak the druids so they are old faith flan kind of specialty priests. And then I want to make specialty priests for the other ones too.
Great idea. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And your Pathfinder, you can customize it however,
So that's one of my key things to dig into. And then the other one that I want to go in to make a Greyhawk feel is the Paladins. And in PF2 they're called champions, and they can have any alignment, so to speak, but they will be different ones. So they will be tweaked. So you will have the champions on IUs, the champions of Deviltry, or the champions of Palor or Heronius and stuff. They will be
awesome,
distinct special ones. And you can have elven champions too, that for the elven pantheon that will be different. So I want to make versions of the champion class that are different depending on who you're the champion for, so to speak. Just like if you're a cleric of this, then you're different than a cleric from that. And the druid will be the version that will be the old faith flan cleric, so to speak, will be the druids. And the other one. So I wanted but it's a big undertaking. And the good thing when it comes to PF2, this only affects PC characters, because the NPCs and the monsters, you don't need classes. You build them from scratch. You give them a number of features. This is what they can do, and off you go with it. And so that saves it. So that's why I need to build this for each. In my campaign now, I have a budding druid, and I have a budding champion, and I have a budding cleric of Rao. So I need to do these three first.
And that's what you do with whatever your players are playing.
Exactly. So I will do it, and then I'll need to start thinking. But I also need to start thinking about the evil ones, meaning what are the special champions of IUs? What kind of cool features do they have as NPCs? Yeah.
So Bill, you're on a time crunch here, so I know. So Maester, let's get to the Maester, the big one here, Bill's big one. So explain the whole concept of this Maester class for us, please.
Well, the Maester name is a stolen name. I'll say that right away. It is stolen from the Song of Fire and Ice, and they are basically, I would say they're the neutral advisors and educated ones in the kingdoms there. So I kind of liked it. Throughout the books, they mentioned different maesters in there. There's maesters on the wall on the Night's Watch, and they say, well, this guy's more of a fighter than he is a maester, and he's a drunkard. Or this one is more devout, so he's more of a priest than a maester. And I'm like, wow, you know what? That's kind of a cool idea, to be able to take more of a role-playing class and make it a multi-class able character. So I took the class and said, okay, well, they could be single class, and you could hire maesters to work in your keep or whatever as sages and healers, doctors, educators, teachers, or you can make them multi-class. So a maester can combine with any of the
four base
straight classes. So
four base: fighter, cleric, mage, thief.
Yeah.
And even
Yep.
humans. This is a human exception rule.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep, human exception
Yeah,
rule.
it's a human
Okay.
exception rule.
Ah.
So that so like I have Cassandra Carlos in Altamira. She's a fighter maester.
Yeah, so it's oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
So let me go to the next page here and show you. Now, this fills a lot of the RP need for your for your group. How do I get someone that may? How they have two different. What is it called? Schools. They have
It's two different skill sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Major and then artistic. So here are some of the major ones on here. Magical theory, where they can use magics or scrolls. Theology, they can use clerical, dark arts, necromancer. These are all scroll use, and the shadow mage was added to this one as well for us. Illusionist, druidic, they get a +2 on mind affecting. Now remember, every other level, odd level, they get a new training of school. Now let me run over. Let me run over to Maester page. Oh, here's their. I missed this. Experience table is the same as magic users. Okay, where they get their academic and advanced study skill. This is like the jack of all trades. This is also a character that how do we do a leather worker in our group? Now you have it. All right, so let me see if I get this page right. Oh, wrong one. I just did that one. Sorry. Page 5. Some others: fauna, flora, decipher, mathematics. There's anatomy, where they can do extra damage when attacking, or they can do healing, which is almost like a first aid, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. A lot of different alchemy's one, armor working, leather working. I must have missed page 3. I did. I was wondering if I missed an entire page. Yeah, I did. There you go.
And basically, this is another class. We have a few people now that are running maesters, and everyone's running them a little differently. My maester is a healer alchemist, but they also get a legend lore ability, very similar to sages. So it's a good. They're a good class for starting up adventures. Saying, "Hey, I was reading in the library, and the ancient restricted scrolls about this magical warhammer located that was buried with King blah 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 in this tomb." So it's a good secondary character, utility character to really work with role play too. They're traits that Jay doesn't have up on there are some of their knowledge traits. And they're very specific knowledge traits, like knowledge undead. They're able to recognize the type of undead you're fighting, be able to know the best way to fight them.
Yeah, that's neat.
So you'd say, hey, it's a ghoul. I don't need a magic weapon to hit that. Hey, that's a white. I do need a magic weapon to hit that.
Yeah.
Be able to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Bill has thought this out real well.
You don't have skills generally, so characters can't take skills in learning these things.
We don't use non-weapon proficiencies because of that.
Okay.
We allow learned usage and using their stats like intelligence, wisdom, and stuff like that. I cannot get into the weeds too much with that. Now Tim goes a different direction with that, which is perfectly fine. But for us, it's just it's not. There's always been a gap in old school with I don't want everyone being armorers. You know what with everyone takes the same base skills. This way there's a set one. The only reason why this character can adventure is the multi-classing. You can't just run out there as a maester as a player character. It's not going to work. Right? It's really not. So no. that's why and they're multi-class, so fighters can't specialize. They don't get the specialized abilities. They're multi-class, so they get the base usage of that class, and that's it. But they make for really, really cool. They make for really cool. Same character. We have all right. So our RP Grandpa is new. Welcome. Thank you. We have roughly 2,000.
Yeah, and you can actually hire these too to work as cloistered members of your staff, because they do level automatically. 1 level for every 2 years of being cloistered in your staff.
Yeah, 26 adventuring groups roughly, I think, is it? Yes. Bill, how many player characters do you have? 70? Roughly.
I think we're up to 20 groups now.
I counted some.
A lot of them have 3 people in them, so I'm probably in the 55 to 60 range. And then there's some miscellaneous characters that aren't in groups.
Yep.
So it's probably 60 plus, yeah.
So here's some other artistic skills: laws, cartography, appraisal, seamanship, metallurgy. There's armoring, heraldry, animal husbandry, creatures terrestrial. He's thought of a lot of great, you know, ideas for this class, and it's worked. I was surprised there was not a Maester in the new Narwhal group, because there should be, and I'm hoping that one of the new ones we add, someone does a Maester. Creatures extraplanar, leatherworking, creatures undead. And we're always adding to this and thinking of some things that we're missing, and we'll pop them in. Standard skills.
This is not a complete list of skills, because this is open to have a good idea. We add it in.
Yep. So it's fun.
The one thing that with the spellcasting ability they have, essentially, they are just unlocking the power in scrolls. But because they're not innate in those classes, so you have a thief maester who finds a magic user scroll. Well, the magic user scroll fireball is at 10th. Well, if he's only a 7th level maester, he can only unleash 7 dice of that power, and it's gone, because he cannot get the full benefit of that sort of thing. So it's not an overpowering class where somebody can be, hey, I'm a 7th level maester, I'm going to go buy 20th level fireball scrolls. No, you can't do that. So it has a little check and balance built into it.
So what about a class that's minimalistic in armor and weapons, but has animal companions that specialize in any animal types of skills? So you mean like a Beastmaster? It's been thought about, you know, as a sub ranger class. Yeah, trust me. In the early days, I was much more of a
animal
jerk.
companions don't survive long enough to train them.
Yeah. So the Master of Ravens is how they communicate, and I think that's ripped off from Game of Thrones, but I don't care. I love it. I like the class, and Bill did a great job building this one up, the Maester. And you know, I know some of you out there have the Maester, some of you have the Bounty Hunter. But they're just cool. They're just it's if you think something out very well, and I'll use it and we'll play test it, and that's still really in play test too when you think about it. But like every group, except for the exception of one of the last 5, have a Maester in it, right? One had 2 Maesters in it, but then Tim's dad doesn't play anymore because he moved away. But almost every group has a Maester in it. So Jay kills in red shirts, even if they were pets. I do, Tim. And that's all you're doing too. Because Tim would bring so many pack bearers and torch bearers along. They're sitting on the other side of the hill.
His last group of red shirts were all a marching band.
That's right. I killed the marching band on the beach. Tanya Roberts, I know. So, Bill, I know you got to depart. So,
I get a few more minutes.
All right, a few more minutes. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
All right, we're gonna do Bill's last one. Now, the name of this is a little. You may think, the race. It's not. It is the Saxon or Foot Knight. All right, and this is explain to us our thought on the Saxon class. Man, this is the most powerful as far as damage goes melee class we have. So go for it.
Yeah, he can be. I got the whole idea of the Saxon. I love Cavaliers. If you ask Alan in our group, he'll tell you I run more Cavaliers than anybody, but actually I probably have more Rangers than anybody in the campaign. But not everybody can be a knight. I mean, knights are supposed to be of noble birth.
Yep.
By the rule set. Well, I was watching, and I don't remember if it was Discovery Channel or a PBS channel, and they were talking about the people, the Saxons. Mm-hmm. And the weaponry that they used, the thing that they was their weapon was the Lochaber axe.
Yep.
And I'm like, boy, that is just such a cool item. And pole arms are such an in our game an underused item, because you can single specialize in them, and really a longsword does the same damage just about every pole arm in the group. So I'm like, well, you know what? The Romans had centurions. They had people that could be of noble birth or lower birth and rise to the rank of military infantry leaders. So that's where I got the idea for the Saxon based off of the Cavalier.
Foot Knight.
So they are the foot knight. They are the guy who is in the trenches that has the respect. They're the master sergeant of or the sergeant major of the troops. So that's kind of where I got the idea. But they are down and dirty, the foot champions. They're the guy with the two-handed sword, the Lander Shank out there swinging the big blade.
Bardiche, halberd, and armor. So basically, they are the foot knight. It is based on the Cavalier. You notice this table functions, experience table functions very similarly to a Cavalier's, with weapons and specialized. They are the only one in our campaign that are allowed to specialize in polearms, two-handed sword, and the Tim says never existed saddle sword. So there we go. So those are
double specialized.
Double. You're right. Double specialized. So if you get, and with our game, when you do strength 1.5 times damage. So if you have 1800, that's +3/+6. With a two-handed weapon, that's +3/+9. Put a halberd in your hand against large. It does 2 to 12 +9. You can see where the damage scales up. So the Saxons tend to be the most damaging melee class we have. Now they come from not noble birth. They come from standard, gentry is the right word. They don't fight on horseback. They have but they can operate siege equipment like ballistas and things like that too, is one of their special abilities. Plus they get a bleeding wounds effect with their weapon. So let me flip out to the last page. So once again, Bill has done his work writing this up, and we made some minor edits to it, but here is their abilities and their attack round. So I believe it's the same. It's a little slower than a Cavalier, not much, but Cavaliers at 6 get 3 every 2 with regular weapons. I'm sorry, at 6 they get 2 every 1. At 7th, the Saxon gets 2 every 1. So they're a level or 2 behind. Yeah. So and here's some of their special abilities. So they get defensive training free. They get +2 against fear. They're not immune to a fear like a Cavalier is. Yeah, two-handed weapons are awesome. They get bleeding wounds, and they increase their stats as a Cavalier does. So there you go. It's an option that is based right on the Cavalier, but it is, and the Cavalier disappears in 2nd edition, which is a shame in my opinion. So, Bill, any other comments on this great class?
No, I mean it's a fun class. We've got quite a few of them, and we've run against quite a few of them.
Oh yeah, see that's the thing. You're gonna make a nasty character class. It's gonna be nasty NPCs. So you will not see any Saxons in the joust, the Grand Joust of Altamira, though, because they
won't ride on horse. They won't fight on horseback.
They don't fight on horseback. So that's the but you'll see regular fighters. So Anna, what do you think of that class?
Yeah,
it's pretty nasty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know in Pathfinder you can take a lot of specializations, right? And you can go 2 weapons, two-handed weapons and things like that, right? And they're called the martial weapons.
Oh yeah, you have and that is kept in 3.5 and Pathfinder 1 and Pathfinder 2. So you have the basic weapons that everyone can learn most of, and there are only certain character classes are limited. So the wizards, for instance, and sorcerers, they only knew a subset of the simple weapons, and most other classes they know all the simple weapons. And then you have the martial classes, the fighter, rangers, and paladins. They know all the martial weapons, basically every weapon in the book, except for a few exceptions that you have to spend a feat to learn. But wizards and others can learn more. You can kind of say that I want to learn more stuff by spending, instead of specializing in certain types of magics and stuff, you can actually pick up a weapon or 2 and learn these things extra, so to speak. So it's possible to, so you can, that's the the difference in those later editions that you can, instead of, you can either super specialize in things, or you can generalize, or you can do
Right.
a combination of the two, so to speak. And so that's the difference. You sacrifice some of your edge abilities as a wizard if you want to learn how to use a sword, for instance, properly. And a fighter can learn how to, not only he can master it, he can do super cool things, or he can simply say, I also want to be almost as good, but I want to have one in each hand and fight it, so to speak. Or you want to be super good at using the sword and the shield, for instance, or something like that. Or I want to spend the extra effort into learning missile weapons even better than most others. So it's simply, it's a trade-off, generic or specialize. And that goes with almost every class, and also multi-classing. And the interesting thing is that in both 4th edition and PF2, you multi-class by adding feats. So you add a class feat saying that if I'm a fighter, but I want to be stealthy, so I want to be rogue or rogue as a multi-class. You don't start picking rogue levels. You take rogue feats. So you take a multi-class feat, and then you can pick up. So you become half as good or 1/3 as good as a rogue. So meaning you can backstab, but you don't get the full benefit of it. You get halfway or roughly, and so on. And then you can say, well, I don't want to learn all this. I just want the sneaky bits. And then you, instead of getting better at backstab, you get almost as good as a rogue in sneaking, but you don't get all the other benefits. So you can kind of pick and choose certain aspects from other classes. And I think it's cool to get weird characters that are kind of rounded. The problem with it is that the systems need to be on par, so to speak. So you have the same type of system. Every skill and everything you do, you're either untrained, trained, master, or legendary. And you get the same bonus basically on all of them, whether that is hitting someone or using. So you have a core system that everything follows, so to speak. And in 1st edition, you have kind of cool things, and you percentage, and you use another system for this and another system for that. And that meant that as soon as you were in that system, you were much better, or you were the only one who could do it. But here it's more like you have skills, and almost everything you do, you have a training level, and then you can have certain feats. Like you can learn basic thievery, but then you can simply say, well, I want to open locks too. So you get a feat that say that you can use that skill on locks, and the ones that don't have that feat can't use it on locks. And so that's how you do it. But anyone can take that feat, but rogues get it for free, basically. They get it built in, but others can actually train and learn that too if they want to. But then that means that they have to they will not learn something else.
Yeah, and that it's given. It sounds like a good give and take in
it is. And but the problem is that all the different things you do need to be fairly balanced one to the other. So otherwise these min-maxers will start saying that, oh, we would never take that, we will take this instead, and then you will go haywire.
Which seems like that's what happened a lot in 3 and 3.5.
Oh yeah, exactly. 3.5, and PF1 too. So it's been but 4th edition kind of went the other way too much, because they evened out everything so much that it was kind of just level-headed completely, and just have the same mechanics and just labeled it differently.
Huh. So note that there's some classes that came out in Horror in the Holes, particularly the Necromancer and the Inquisitor, which we're going to go over in next week's. All right, so that they're actually in this book. So Carlos does a good job converting them and stripping them, so we don't get in trouble. But the last one tonight that we're going to discuss is a really, I don't know what, I had this weird Bruce Campbell kick back in the 90s, and I went with from Jack of all trades, the swashbuckler, which is basically a thief that does a lot of frontal fighting and can swing on chandeliers and all sorts of crazy stuff. I know there's
which you originally wanted to call the Dragoon.
I wanted to call it the Dragoon, just like the dairy.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But it also, shop as smart. I know it's a 3rd edition prestige class, I believe, right? It's something like that. Yeah. It is, but I didn't even know when I did that.
But you can take cool ideas from other editions and stuff, and then tweak it into your way of playing. That I think that's the way to do it. That's what you should do.
Yep. And
You
that's
should not abandon your edition and the way you play just because someone else come up with one cool idea that you don't have in your system and your game. Then
Yeah.
take that cool idea and bring it in. I think the important thing is that it makes sense for your game group around your table. That's the key thing. And it also differs, meaning Jay, you guys play miniatures. That means that you need to tweak certain rules so it fits the miniature way of playing, rather than the ones that play theater of the mind, for instance, because that might require other adoptions and adaptations on the rules in order to make it flow and do better.
and organic puts in a point. I pilfer up through third.
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
do any fourth or fifth pilfering up to third
Yeah.
3E. I will take stuff that like feats especially. So
Yeah.
for this class, real quick, is that it's thief base, die 6, con bonus is fighter. So I have 17 or 18 con, they'll get die +3/+4 instead. Human, half elven, and half orc. They have very limited armor, just like a thief. And they can specialize in one weapon, and it's reversed. They get the +2 to hit. They're better to hit than damage. And their thieving abilities are limited but they do have their two-fisted fighting penalties reduced by 1. So the 18, they have no penalty in both hands. The bonus in natural armor class every time they go up 159 goes down automatically, and they can use weapons that thieves normally can't use, like hand axes, hammers, small ones. Or in a primary hand like a Kapesh sword, or even a Morning Star they could use in theory.
Yeah.
And they can make acrobatic moves because we don't have like a system where it's based on dex rolls and things like that. But their thieving abilities are limited. They lose pickpockets. They never get set traps. The thievings are just like being stealthy, moving around for the most part.
Yeah.
And their backstab is nowhere near as good as a thief backstab. So Tom played Spence last week, which was a swashbuckler. So you saw that class being played last week. He likes it, and we have very limited swashbucklers in the game. What, maybe 3 to 4, Bill, at most?
I can only think of 2.
Spence.
And one of them's an NPC.
Yeah. So you think? No, I thought someone else had one too. I thought John had one, but it's possible. So some of the classes.
I mean, John hasn't played regularly in 10
exactly.
years. So.
Some of them are a lot less popular than others, but hey. So working out a class, I think we've gone over the classes I had set, and I had some others that were flexible in discussion. You think of something that's missing in your game, or that one of your players comes to you and goes, I really would love this.
Yeah.
And then you can always develop it. I don't care what edition you're playing. Exactly, Tim. That's the issue. Think of whether it's a spellcasting class. There's been a lot of good ideas in chat, or a type of fighter, whatever it is. And fifth is something I've experienced. Yeah. So yeah, movement is just 5th edition movement. I don't get, man. I just don't get it. I don't know how you can attack something and run off all in the same. It drives me insane. But once again, I don't want an edition war here. That's one thing we think we've got worked out.
I think that the difference is that they have what they call the delay and the prepare. So you can set up an action, so to speak. You can assume that, okay, we standing here waiting, and I'm going to ready an attack or a spell or something, and then you wait. And then when they come, you bash them in the head, or you standing with a bow and you say, when someone comes out that door, I'm going to nail him, and or it or her or whatever it comes out. So it's kind of, it requires a bit more tactical thinking that way. You have to spend your actions to do certain things, and if you just rush in, and then you can get kind of shell shocked fairly quickly, so to speak. And there are certain things, and movement in itself is something that you can have certain classes that are, like barbarians, have higher movement rate than others, for instance, in some editions and stuff. So you can have, and certain things that can do extra reactions like paladins and stuff, they can reach out and protect their neighboring characters.
Yeah, I can't have that with miniatures and 25
Exactly,
to
that's
30
the thing.
miniatures on the table because I'll
Mhm.
go insane.
Yep.
That's the problem with in a miniatures
Yeah.
game. You're like,
That's what I'm saying. There are different
Rich.
things that work in theater of mind, and there are different other things that work really well with
Yeah,
miniature. And
yeah.
so you
If you
need to
have-
adapt to your play style and
Yeah.
how you set it up too. Yeah.
Can you imagine me doing individual initiative for 20 things? I go. I mean, it just would. Yeah.
No.
And it depends if you run virtual tabletop like Fantasy Grounds
oh, yeah.
Roll20, individual initiative is like
What's up, Dave?
that's a baggy. You can do it every round if you want, because that's like
True.
a second and the computer can just handle it.
That's one good thing of having a VTT is
So
there's
there
a
are
lot of
certain, but you don't.
self-calculations in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're depending on your play style. You can use the advantages of the way you play the game, so to speak.
So, Bill, what do you want to say in synopsis? I know you got to go shortly. So, we went over 6 classes. We're going to go over roughly about 6 next week as well, and then we got a ton of announcements here. I want to talk about GaryCon in depth, so because it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, basically, just if you have an idea, give it a shot. Write it up.
Yep.
Play test it.
Exactly.
Listen to your players. You know, that's a big thing. I mean, we've been playing together a long time, so Jay doesn't have a choice but to listen to us. But
Yeah.
it's like, listen to your players. If they're bringing an idea, look at it, try it. It can't hurt, especially if you're going to run a long campaign. You want your players to bring ideas to you. You want your players to be active. It makes a DM's job easier if your players are very active. So work with it, try it. Don't be afraid to beg, borrow, and steal from wherever you can to make things work, because it helps us and it keeps our game growing.
Absolutely. And everyone knows this. I am a sharer, and I won't give you all my stuff. So, like, for example, I've had recently a couple of people say, how do you make specialty priests? I'll give you 2 or 3 of them so you can see what I do, and then you can replicate them yourself and make your own up. And that's what it is. You want to make your own game and your own, things up. And if you see a class here that you're interested in, I'm more than happy to share a class with you, and just see and maybe utilize it. Now, there's some that are getting published in certain areas. The Undead Hunter, which we're going to talk about next week, it was in a previous Earth journal, so that's out there. The Inquisitor and the Necromancer are in here, which Rob just got, and a lot of you just got, and thank you so very much. They're in Horror in the Hools, so there's some places you can get those things, and. Just don't be afraid to try it and play test. How dare anyone have their own game? Exactly, Dave. How dare they? Should only be watching. Just So we had 2. We had Greyhawk Tales and Wiley had a Greyhawk. We had 2 Greyhawk games on Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon today, which is really cool. So Wiley, is yours in Greyhawk City? Rob, what's the name of it? Greyhawk Alive or something like that. And then we had Greyhawk Tales earlier. So, well, thanks, Tim.
Hey, just something real quick too.
Yes, please.
Anybody who's on tonight, you'll see Mike Disney. If you follow Mike is on co-streaming with Zambies tonight. There's a guy in the community named Brubaka, and
that's where we're rated.
They're doing a little fundraiser tonight. The guy's wife passed away from cancer this week. Only found out a little over a month ago she was sick.
Yeah.
So they're doing a little fundraiser and a GoFundMe. So if you have a few minutes after, go over and check out their stream. They're doing an art illustration stream, but I'm sure they're going to be popping the GoFundMe link up to support Jason or Brubaka. Just something to think about.
We are going to raid in there, no doubt about it. So
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know he's got that going on, and we'll see if we can up his. Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks. It really does. And this one was super sudden too. And one of those. We always, we lost Len to cancer too. It's terrible. After all that struggle.
Not to bring it down, but just something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when these guys get a chance, scroll down, click on the links for our sponsors. That's how they know that we're supporting them.
Yeah, especially the Reaper one. where they have a ticker.
Yeah, Reaper
Yeah.
Reaper likes to see clicks.
Yeah, Reaper likes to see clicks on them, but all of them. So I haven't set up the Mike Disney one yet, but we have Stratagem, Miniature Building Authority, Infinite Dimensions, Gamescape, Troller Games, and Reaper. So yeah, always click on those. So Mike, we're going to go see Mike. Bill, I know you may have to go. What do you have any shout outs you'd like to do, or anything else you'd like to discuss coming up? We need Mike's pushing. Disney's pushing for a 3D printer, Gabbin. We're going to do that probably after GaryCon.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. Say, like I said, just go out and play and have fun. Play it your way. It doesn't matter how you do it. Word edition or you're playing BTT, or you're playing in person, you're playing minis. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Just go out and have fun with it.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of Bill's Infinite Dimensions. What set was that you just printed out and painted up? It was the graveyard set. Oh, someone's talking to him.
Okay. Want to come over and say hello to the world? Sorry, my daughter's talking.
Jess, come say hi.
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 Hello.
There you go.
Awesome.
Do you was it the graveyard set from Infinite Dimensions that we have a bunch of prints on that you just did?
Yeah, the burial ground.
The burial grounds. Yeah, you're going to see that for an adventure, and I'll discuss that shortly. Where that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's in an area Anna just fixed the map on too. So hint, and you can see it right below your pictures actually, right in that area there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty cool. Yep. So Anna, what's going on?
Well, I'm working on. I'm getting into the world of textures now. I've had on. If you go to my Patreon blog, they will be moved to my website too soon. There's 4 articles now on the next generation of Greyhawk maps, and they're all open. So until May, I will have all the postings I've had the past year have all been open. So they're not behind the paywall or anything. Anyone can go and read. So I've detailed all the processes I'm doing for the new generation of Greyhawk maps, and we're moving into some of the final stages when they actually start looking good, and that's put colors on it and the texturing, and the texturing will be done in a couple of stages. So I will have the first texture article. I'm writing that one right now, so it will come up probably tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. So I hope that will have it done tomorrow, because I need to render some more stuff for the screenshots and stuff in there. And that will kind of start putting all the finishing touches to it, so to speak. There's 2 stages. The first one is to work with this, what they call splat maps or biome maps. So you can tell what every 5-foot square, so to speak, if that is a tree or grass or tall grass or marshland or water or whatever it is. And then go in and texturing, so to speak, to build masks. And it's all about saving storage space and loading times, and have it open for game engines and GIS technology and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a science and an art in both, so to speak. So that's the big part of doing that. I'm also still have a commission I'm working on. So that's one thing. And also my game, we had our 6th session, I think, or 7th session. Sorry, our 7th session this morning. So and they're still 0 level, and they're still in the village. That hasn't changed. But we had our first big fight. I thought that it was not going to be a big fight. There were some things going on, but the players wanted differently. So they realized there was an Ayus priest in there. So they jumped on him and trying to kill him. And then they said, and as a diversion, they put a building on fire, and the whole thing it became a shit show, and we had a lot of fun. 4 hours of combat, and there was like 25 something creatures involved, and there was a lot of some of them didn't know which side was on which side, and it was some confusion and interesting, and it's building up. So we had to kind of stop mid combat. So next session we will continue that. So it's kind of, but we're getting there. So that was, at least I think we had a lot of fun with that. And I'm starting to get into Fantasy Grounds and realize the beauty of having lots of creatures and just move one to the other, and I don't have to keep track of their hit points and stuff. I just put it in there, and then I remember it when I get there again. So it has its benefits, so to speak. So that's coming. So, and now it's time to, so I'm working hard on getting all the things ready for my presentation for the GaryCon, because the idea is to start presenting the first kind of almost finished bits of the new Greyhawk map project, so to speak, and then talk about some of the other stuff, and also have some talk about a few monsters that I've created for my campaign, and some of the other background stories. So it will not all be, they will be roughly, I think 50% or a little bit more will be mapping technology and mapping stuff, and the other stuff will be a little bit about my campaign and ideas and stuff like that, and monsters and a few other things. So yeah.
So note that Anna's, and we'll talk about this in a second, but
Yeah.
Anna's one of the GaryCon shows that kind of, because they want to run ads in between, a lot of them got squeezed out of GaryCon Greyhawk and will only be on Lord Gazumba channel that night. We'll tell you where it is. You'll be able to find it. So and trust me, we're gonna have massive audiences for it, just like we did last year.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Absolutely. So I threw up the Art of Mike Disney prints that we're going to give away
so
tonight.
good.
You know, I got a fair amount here, but these are new. These are awesome. So give me 1 second. They don't deserve Anna. Exactly, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
100%. So Legends and Lore on Wednesday night is 5 Reasons to Visit. This is right from Mike.
Oh yes.
Right from Greyhawk Mike's blog from 2015. 5 Reasons to Visit, blah, blah, blah. I'll do Altamira. I'll do the mine in the area. Mike had some from his blog and some of the places you like.
Oh yeah, I have someone's lined up.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
And I'll try and find weird, cool reasons to visit some interesting places. And of course, I'll try and sneak in some kind of map reference and some graphical things to look at and stuff like that too. So so we try to. I'm really looking forward to this show. Yeah.
So that is going to be a fun one. And then the next night is we're up to adventure 903 already, everyone.
Yeah.
Dangers within the Sus.
Oh,
so I'm going generic on names just so I don't give away stuff.
So this is the first in a new adventure, or
this is the Pathfinders. This is the Pathfinders group.
Okay.
So they're coming up from Winchester's Bulwark because it's either a letter or a message. Alan's character, Benin, who's a Sylvan elf, lives in the northern Sus on the Sus-Celine border. He's one of the indigenous Sylvan elves, and his brother used to scare him when he was a kid with his brother's a necromancer. This is the kind of story that he created on his backstory. That's why he's so fearful for undead. His brother has reached out to him for some reason. If you take a look at your Atreka Sul Temple ruins area, and that's all marsh right there, right below us on the layout, right there. North of that, it's all swamp, and there's something there, and they're going to be traveling to that area. So there you go. That's what's going to happen on Thursday night in Dangers Within the Sus. It'll probably be a 2-weeker. So that is Thursday, March 4th. Reaper Miniature sponsored giveaway coming up. Oh, by the way, Stratagem has reached out to me. They got a whole brand new product. As soon as I have those new products, we're going to be giving away some brand new spanking, and they're not dice, from Stratagem, and they're really cool. So sit tight. A lot of great things going on. All right, and then next week's Gabbin, and that's as far out as I have gotten. 135 Part 2, Ever Mysterious Tim will join us. Inquisitor, Undead Hunter, Necromancer, Shadow Mage, Shield Thane, and then Tim has what's called the Scout and the Commando. Anna, you played a Commando, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to go over
kind of it's a cool take on the kind of Ranger Rogue Barbarian kind of almost kind of mix.
And the date's wrong. It's March 7th. And I don't celebrate.
It's good to see that someone else can screw that up, because I constantly did.
I always do.
But you were there to check me before I released them out, so that was.
I got to fix that. All right, last thing, GaryCon. All right, let me get up to GaryCon. I'm going to start throwing out the days. We are set. Our schedule is complete for 4 days. Now, I just talked to Alan Growy. Alan Growy's getting his games in. Carlos got his game in. Praetor's got their game in. We got all sorts of games besides the ones being streamed. Let's talk about the stream content here. Thursday, we have a lot of different. We have Mike Disney first, and we have Kayla, Time Lord's wife, and she's going to run an adventure called Heir Apparent. And Rich, you're going to be happy to note this involves the Soul Gods. So hey, she's going grandiose. Hey, what's up, Jimmy?
Awesome.
Let's
Kayla.
go for it. All right, so then you got Blue Box, and you got our DM's Roundtable. So on that, Anna, myself, also Kayla, Tyler's wife, she'll be the newbie for this discussion. Stephen Chenault will be joining us. Do we have a
Right.
Discord?
Great.
Now, let me, so here, you want to go to Cannon Fire and you want to go to Virtual Grail Con, both those, if you haven't been there already. Cannon Fire is Pluffett Smedger, Gary Julians, and the Virtual Greyhawk Con. There's a lot of stuff going on there, keeping you up to date on cons and things. They're the two you want to sign up for and join. So I don't have my own. I got enough going on to maintain that too. So that's day one. Notice if it's in blue, Greyhawk After Dark chat. It's only on my channel, so it won't be dual screened or on Gary Con Greyhawk, just because it doesn't fit in the schedule. And, all right, and Armin is late night for New Zealand, so we'll have stuff going on around Friday. Heart in the Holes Part 1, a nice 7 o'clock in the morning Central Time. So at 8 o'clock my time, I'll be DMing. Wally Hobbit's on, working with Gary Gygax, Stephen Chenault. That'll be an awesome one. All right, that's Troller Games, and Anna's one that has to go on mine. Carlos is the main game that night, the 9. There are signups for that game. So there you go. So that you can, a primetime game after Dark Chat, and Armin's second part of his Against the Giants, he'll finish that up. Saturday, the big grand day. 6 a.m. start, Lore Masters Arcanum, John's Wednesday show that comes on before Legends and Lore. He's going to have it at 6 o'clock because he wants to raid into the ever mysterious Tim's game Anna's playing in, Dark Hand Headhunt, with all his barbarians. So, and then after that, the Greyhawk Open one-shot, sign-ups available for that one. Expedition to Barrier Peaks, it just doesn't fit, so it's going on Gary Con Blighted Lands. That's Nightheart Gaming. It's okay, it's still us. Then, the Grand Joust competition of Altamira. Has everyone seen the pics? I hope you've seen the pics by now. Please, once again, I'll show them one more time. This is Bill the Master Crafter. Bill's great work on wonderful, wonderful pics of the jousting setup on our table. Courtesy at Gamescape 3D helped us with the STLs, Reaper miniatures, all sorts of wonderful things going on there. And that is the big event. There are right now, there are at least 4 open signups. First come, first serve. Gary Julian's playing. He's the special guest. Most of my guys are playing. And the two biggie, Cannibal Eridar and Canadian Ancient Gamer, have earned spots for being super fans. So the 2 super fans are going to be playing in that as well that night. So after Dark Chat, I'll be exhausted by then. And then Praetor's Rejects does the late night game and Fane of the Drow. So that is Saturday. Sunday, lastly, let me go back to Gary Con. Sunday, lastly, Heart in the Holes Part 2, early in the morning. I'll be DMing that. So I got to switch the terrain real quick from the joust to that sometime in the middle of the night. Wilgo's a perfect situation. I think there's 1 or 2 signups for that. Greyhawk Awakening, Session 2 Blue Box. And then our finale is the Ask the Experts, confirmed. Eric Mona confirmed, Gary Julian confirmed, Alan Growy, the Grow Dog confirmed, Dennis Malden Chetro confirmed, Eric Boyd, the deity specialist. So I have 5
Awesome.
great, yes, all confirmed for this show. And Anna and I will be hanging there too on that. And that'll finish up Gary Con. And note, there's going to be a ton of other events. Real fun. So Bill will not Bill has no time to subcontract out. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah. No.
And if he
If you
does,
start- yeah.
if he does, John is going to pay him a boatload of cash.
I
So
was
you're going to have
just
to
gonna say,
outbid
you
him with
start
Blue Box.
charging $35-40 an hour, and you can make a career out of it.
Yeah, Troy, my wife doesn't want roadies in my house, so that's not going to happen. All right. So yeah, trust me. He.
Yeah, you need roadies. Yeah.
Yeah. It's something that probably no. I will be able to handle it. I'm probably just going to keep all my equipment down there, do the After Dark chat. I'm going to be changing the terrain while Anna and I are doing the Greyhawk After Dark chat Saturday night. That's what's going to happen. You're going to see me changing terrain, and so it'll be kind of cool. So all right.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have at least 300 unpainted minis here.
Yeah, at least. At least.
Wow. Yep.
plus, we're always thinking of new terrain ideas. We need this. We want this. We want this. And, I'm a pain in the ass. All right. We're going to do the giveaways.
Good.
He said it. You heard him, people.
I am. But, we are staying ahead of the curve. We want to be the top miniature terrain live stream on Twitch, bar none. That's the idea. Hey, what's up, Fraley? No ifs, ands, or buts. I know it sounds arrogant, but that's just the way it is, right? And that's what we're going to keep on doing. All right, I'm going to close this out. Last call. You got 10 seconds. If you want to get into this Mike Disney Overgord, I'm giving away 2 of them. Okay? Hey, Armin, we're just talking about you. Cool. Hey, what time is it in New Zealand, Armin? Well, Harley, like I said, I will always share. If you want my bounty hunter, that's fine. 3:39 p.m. So it's in the middle of the day on Monday in New Zealand.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. Exclamation point drawing. Lek Kazel. But if you're not following, I don't know if you are following. You're good. You're good. Exclamation drawing. Get rid of that comma before it. Just exclamation drawing, and it'll set you in. I'll wait for you. Lek Kazel. Go ahead. I want to make sure you get in. So. Go for it, and then I'll close it out. And then we're going to raid into Mike Disney. So there you go. All right, closing it out. Awesome. Watch. Winner number 1. And I will need, if I don't have it, I will need your address because I got to mail these to you. Remember, these are great to, frame this up, put this in. It's beautiful. And this figure, the Overgord, next month, Reaper, Bones 5. If you're not in the Kickstarter,
Oh, they will come as miniatures?
yeah. Overgord's a miniature.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
waiting for that to see that.
It's not, Tino. It's a Overgord. So, Mike.
Overgord.
Yeah, and it's like this. It's big. It's a big Reaper miniature. And Mike Disney is going to give only Blue Box and us the stats for it, and we're going to run, of course, we got to run an adventure with it of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. It's really cool. So. Behold. Yeah.
Yep.
So Mike did it. Remember, this Kickstarter happened 18 months ago. So this plan.
Now I remember you talked about it. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, that's okay. Ready? Winner number 1. Josh Pop, you lucky SOB.
Wow! Congratulations,
Josh. Josh won. I just saw him won too. So. I have his address. What was that, Bill?
That was some.
It's not copying the link right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
trying to copy the link. Yeah, I'm trying to copy the link of the Overgord mini.
Oh, okay.
You won an Overgord print, Josh. Ready? Second winner. Please, everyone. It's a fundraiser. I know. Oh my gosh! You won what you signed? You won the Mike Disney signed Overgord print, man. Look at how awesome that is. Jeez.
You won some really cool stuff.
Please stay there, even if you can't or don't give. But I want to go in with a massive raid into Mike, into his thing, because Mike now is officially sponsoring us, and he's doing partner stuff with Bill. So Kayla, I owe you a VIP badge. I'll get that to you. We talked about your game, Kayla. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. So everyone, and there's signups for it too. If you want to play the son or daughter of a soul deity, get in on it. All right, here we go. Yep. Second winner, Armin from New Zealand. Oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah, that will be something to say.
Oh my gosh, I got to figure this one out to mail. Yeah. Oh my, I may have just. I will figure that out, man. Dude, I don't know if you can send that. All right, so okay. We're done. All right, so all right. Armin, you won fair and square. I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to redraw this, and I'm going to give you a $25 gift certificate to Cobalt Press. How's that sound? All right. Fair enough. We're gonna do one more. All right.
Yeah, it'd be cheaper than trying to mail it.
Yeah. All right. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. Cool. Fair enough. Because I don't think I've ever delivered it. I've never sent anything to Australia or New Zealand. All right. One more. Resuming entry. Winner is Vamp Wickman. Vamp Wickman is has been around a fair amount, and I really appreciate it.
Good.
Is he
Yep.
on? Let me just
Awesome.
make sure. Yeah, there you go.
Congratulations.
Vamp.
Yep.
I may have your address already, but please,
Yep.
I'm losing track of time and stuff. All right, let's go. Let's raid into Mike Disney. Thank you all for a great show. Really appreciate the support. You got the community's wonderful. Let's keep it up.
Yeah.
I've said this multiple times. Let's be the top channel on all over 05 during GaryCon for all the support. Just like you guys and gals did for the fundraiser. We had 60 people on at 8 o'clock in the morning almost when we started. So
much fun.
don't worry about it. No, Armin, come on, man. You're doing your job. It's okay. And you hopped in. Well, thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm setting this raid up, and we'll see you all. See you all Wednesday night for Legends and Lore. It'll be a fun one. Support all your other streamers in the community, please.
Yep.
Jay, hit the right button, please. It is, Vamp. It is.
Go. Yep. Made it.
It is. Look, setting up raid.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Bill, we'll see you, man. $65. Beautiful. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll see you on. See you Wednesday night.
Yep.
That was awesome. That'll put him over 100.
Yeah.
98.
There you go.
Okay. Good. Yep.
Awesome, Bill. Thanks. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Anna.
Oh yeah.